Okay, yo, 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 what up? Okay, wait a second. That's not. I gotta do something right quick. Shh. Let y'all get all tucked in and shit. Everything straight. Tres Antonio Casales. Oh shit, what the fuck? Okay, here we go. All right. I bet you're wondering why you're here. Oh wait, Evil Hero Diamond Cat File Super Chat. Hey baby girl, thoughts on the recent Shadowverse bat? Oh my god, I don't know what the troll is there. I just don't get it. Anthony Scioli, $2 Super Chat. Uh, Richard Donner rolls in his grave. um. Anyway, one of my oh shit. Oh, I didn't click the thing. Damn it. Anyway, one of my regular super chat senders, Andres Antonio Casares. He recommended this Wonder Woman 1984 review to me. He said, like, it's kind of cringe and I should check it out. But I didn't want to put it on the official Night of Cringe because I already got something lined up for that, something pretty long. Hopefully, I don't think we're going to get hit with any copyright with what I got planned, but I think we should be cool. But yeah, I didn't want to mix these two together. This is because it's already it's like a 53-minute review. It's already long as shit. I didn't want to add them together, but I also didn't want to wait weeks after or a week after the next Night of Cringe to talk about it, because I saw the first 10 minutes of this review and I was like, okay, I gotta talk about it very soon, like nowish. So I was like, okay, Friday and Saturday. Friday being today and Saturday being tomorrow. Like today we got this stream talking about this review, and then Saturday we have the Night of Cringe 31 talking about Ava stories. Now if you don't know what that is, I'm not gonna say shit. I want you to be surprised. No, you know what? No, fuck it. I'll tell you. I'll give you a hint about what it is. It's the Holocaust told through an Instagrammer. Y'all excited? Like, I'm excited. That sounds like some cold shit. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, he sent me this review and I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to do this. The first 10 minutes were not promising. There was so much wrong already. Oh, Evil Hero Diamond Cat $5 Super Chat. Validate releases next month. Oh shit! I bet you're excited. Are you gonna stream it? Also, why don't you want to discuss Shadowverse? I think you know why. I've said several times. I don't even know what the hell that is. Joanna Furborn. I think I said that correctly. Oh, hey you thingy, a pair. In a 199 Super Chat. Thank you. Anyway, yeah, this review is like 53 fucking minutes long. Bohemian Bottle Cap, $5 Super Chat. And it's one of those, see, this is a negative review of the movie, and I don't like the movie either, but just because it's a negative review doesn't mean I'm going to agree with it. And that's the thing, like, so if I'm going to talk shit about this review, and it's negative, and I don't like the movie, and this person doesn't like the movie, it's like, there's some conflicting ideas. And it's not going to be no. This isn't going to go well. This is going to be shit. Andres Antonio Gonzalez Casteres, 75 Iwu. Hey girl, excited. Favorite part of this cringy? Don't say anything. Don't spoil it for me. I'm not reading the rest of that. Thank you for the super chat, but I'm not reading the rest of that. I want to be surprised by how bad this is. Don't tell me nothing. I tell you, like, that's one of my pet peeves on Twitter or anywhere is when people tell, like, when they suggest something to me, like, watch this or look at this, and they tell me like a big thing about it or like something that I know, okay, I know I'm gonna have a big reaction to, and I don't want to know that. I don't want to know that. I want to be surprised. Do not tell me. But anyway, let's get on with it. I don't like my intros to be too long. Shit. Because I don't like to bore people with my bullshit. But anyway, yeah, let's get to it.
It's Wonder Woman 1984 day. Time to get ready and transform!
Oh no, it's one of those YouTubers with the skits. Unlucky Sevens, $5 super chat. J Long, you my Wonder Woman, now squeeze into a tiny Amazon dress. Thank you for the super chat.
Oh god, why would I even have that be the transformation sequence?
Also, like, their corny skits. Ugh, if you're gonna have skits, please be funny. Like, funny. Not like passable, 2.5 Men funny, like level fun. You know what I mean? Like this, the generic sitcom comedy. Don't do that. I go to YouTube to get away from that shit.
Oh god, I feel awful. Oh, that was more. Oh, that was awful. Oh, I hope Wonder Woman 1984.
We get it. Get on with it. You got 53 minutes. You don't have to keep this going. You don't have to stretch it out.
Makes me feel better. Oh, this was not good.
Content warning: sexual assault, rape, racist stereotypes, police brutality, and cultural bigotry. Why? Why? Like, YouTube is already really stringent with what you can show on your channel. So the fact that you have a warning on top of an already, which I'm assuming is a sanitized YouTube video, is kind of like, why? Just why?
Wonder Woman 1984 is not a good movie. In fact, it's a bad movie. Like, as bad as my childhood home movie's bad. Everybody wants a thrill. I didn't realize we had a clip of that. Yeah, nothing's actually that bad. But even beyond simple quality, for me, I find it to actually be a deeply troubling film in a way that I didn't expect. For a film.
Yeah, because Wonder Woman rapes a man. Ivan Patrascu. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. $5 super chat. Left a 10-hour shift on the kill floor of this cringe. Send it me back. Oh, I'm sorry.
A film that purports to be empowering of women, for me, it not only fails to do that, but by refusing to actually critically engage with its own themes and real-world issues, it ends up being actively encouraging of a womanhood and ideal of feminism that ends up being hollow, unrealistic, and ultimately harmful.
So that's my problem with movies in general. That's why you shouldn't try to push some kind of feminist thing. You don't need it. Just fucking make a strong female character or like a decent, like, well-written female character and end it. Like, you don't have to push this shit. Forget about it. Stop fucking marketing your movies towards people who don't deserve it, who aren't going to appreciate it anyway.
I get into all of that, I want to make clear that this was not the video that I really wanted to make. I had planned on doing a video on this movie well before it came out, anticipating and hoping that it would just be me expressing my adoration for the film, as well as Gal Gadot's amazing wardrobe. And at least that last part I can still do, because the costuming department on this film was on point.
Right, I forgot I was muted for a second. Sorry. Damn it. Anyway. If I'm gonna repeat myself, yeah, the wardrobe is like standard. It's like they watched Stranger Things or some 80s movie and was like, okay, there we go. We're done. We're done. It's basic. It's basic shit. They reference all of the things you think they reference. Fanny packs, some fucking breakdancing gear, leg warmer. Ugh, shit. Leg warmers. It's like, eh. It's like being at a theme park that's set in the 80s, if that makes any sense. It doesn't feel naturalistic or authentic, which I guess was the point, because they're going for some kind of campy bullshit. But it's like, but you can't say, oh, the wardrobe was fantastic, and say that it's goofy. Well, she didn't make that argument yet, but I'm just saying you can't make the wardrobe generic to fit the goofiness of the film, and then say they got great wardrobe. You can't do both.
I live for Chris Pine in a fanny pack. That's probably why Star Trek Into Darkness wasn't as good. Not as much Chris Pine fanny pack. But as many of you know, I'm a huge DC Comics fan, even more so than Marvel. I mean, I have seen literally every single episode of every Arrowverse show on the.
Oh God! Please tell me this person has some Batwoman reactions or reviews, please. That would make my life.
CW and the DC Universe shows. I even subscribe to DC Universe. I've watched most of the DC animated shows. And
Sumo? Master Titan, $2 super chat. I wish I could feel. Oh God, no.
And own a shit ton of the comics, and have, I kid you not, seen every single DC Comics movie, animated or live action. And I mean every single one, even the DC Superhero Girl ones. I've seen Steel twice.
Steel is DC? I didn't know that.
No one should see Steel twice. Not even Shaq has probably seen Steel twice. Hell, I even watched Pennyworth. I bet you didn't even know that was a show. And while I think the DCU franchise films could have gone better from the start, I've been loving the direction of the franchise so far in the
wait, oh no. Wait, let's rewind that. Please tell me that you are not on board with Birds of Prey. Well, actually, you know what? I kind of expected
gone better
that.
From the start. I've been loving the direction of the franchise so far in the recent films, especially after Birds of Prey, which was easily one of my favorite movies of 2020.
Why? Why? Fucking why? Oh, why? That gave me the heebie-jeebies. No, I don't know. I love Birds of Prey. It was bird. She's not just that. She said Birds of Prey was her favorite fucking movie of 2020. Ugh. Happy-ish Gaming, $5 super chat. Hey JL, coming from one of your free bleed videos. That's a thank you. I'm in need of some cringy palate cleanser. Thank you for showing up, and thanks for the super chat. Mr. N, $5 super chat. Ding dong, in the Wonder Woman outfit, your ego is showing. Stop! DD Thomas, $20 super chat. Finally caught you live. Thank you for watching this show, so I don't have to. Well, it's not a show, it's a review, but I get what you're saying. Reza, $5 super chat. Hey Jay, you're such a funny person, and your content never fails to cheer me up on a bad day. Keep up the great content. Thank you. But getting back to this shit. Birds of Prey. Oh, REB, $2 super chat, and a cute doggy. Okay, I'm gonna cut it off here because we need to keep moving. But Birds of Prey, that was worse than fucking, in my opinion, slightly worse than fucking Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad, I can work with. Because there's certain things I actually like about it. Birds of Prey was, almost damn near nothing I liked about it.
And the original Wonder Woman movie is one of my favorite superhero films too. It not only managed to be a revelation for women in big budget superhero films, but decently engaged with the theme of the moral ambiguity of war and human conflict, albeit in a glossy blockbuster kind of way. I'm even one of those weirdos that actually likes that film's third act. I just wish that instead of Steve Trevor's death motivating Diana to defeat Ares, Diana should have beaten Ares, then Steve Trevor.
I'm pretty sure she was already set on beating Ares. Because that was the whole thing with her character in that movie, that she was like, oh, Ares is behind all of this and I need to beat him. She wanted to fight him and beat him before she even fell in love with his ass. Before she even fell in love with Steve Trevor. That was the whole, that was the drive. She wanted to beat Ares when she oh my god, it's been a while since I've seen it. But I know for a fact that was not her driving force to beat Ares. She already wanted to kill him before he died. So I don't. Yeah, that's a little dishonest. See, I missed that the first time when I took a little peek at this video. I missed that part. Fritz Philogene II, $10 super chat. I will agree that Wonder Woman 84 is a moral failure. I'll go further to say that it fails at understanding humanity in general. But hey, at least Diane is acting more like her daddy Zeus in the sex regard. True. Oh my god. Y'all get some normal ass names up in here. Yethai? I'm so sorry. Yethai, £5 super chat. She doesn't identify as trans, but as demigirl. So can chat please stop with the transphobic comments when she isn't one? Sideburns, $7.99. Birds of Prey fight scenes look like shit, and I haven't even seen the movie. Yeah, y'all remember that clip I released on my channel. It's blocked now because, you know, YouTube is powerfully uncool. But, yeah, and I put it to the Batwoman soundtrack. Yeah. Now, there's like one good fight scene, and then after that, it's just like it's spotty for some reason. You got the fight choreographer from John Wick, and your fight choreography is spotty. I don't get that. But anyway, let's get back to this.
Should have died, showing that even if you beat the bad guy, you can't stop loss and pain caused by war and its effects. Sorry,
She always wanted to beat him though. She was always set on beating Ares. She thought Ares was behind all of war and shit.
I'm getting really sidetracked here because I really do not want to talk about Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh, shut up. Yes, you do. This is a 53-minute review. I can't stand it when fucking YouTubers say that shit. I never wanted to make this video. I didn't want to make this. I didn't. And then loads it up with ads. It's like over 20 minutes. Like, nigga, yes, you did. You wanted to make this. Like, stop. Stop lying. Nothing wrong with getting paid and ranting about shit. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong at all. So really stop fucking saying that. It's so irritating.
Because, you see, I say all of this because I want you to know that I was so here for Wonder Woman 1984, especially with Patty Jenkins, a director I love, not being shackled to whatever Zack Snyder was trying to do with his Ayn Randian nightmare universe.
But she was shackled to him for the first film. He actually had I think he helped with the screenplay. She did not do the screenplay in the first film. She just directed the first film. It was Zack Snyder had something to do with the production for the first film, and the screenwriter was some guy, I forgot what the fuck his name is, and Patty Jenkins just directed it. So, you know, she wasn't shackled to Zack Snyder. Yeah, she was. That's kind of the reason why the first one wasn't a complete piece of shit. Because he was involved with it. People don't give him the credit Zack Snyder, the credit he fucking deserves, and I'm really tired of it. Phantom Glean or Gline. $5 super chat. I didn't want to pay you to write this comment. Oh god. I can't stand it when I get the eye drips when I'm doing my streams. It's so annoying. Matanui, I think. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it. What the hell is this person wearing? It's supposed to be some kind of like Wonder Woman thing. Like if Wonder Woman worked at like a theme restaurant. Sideburns, $7.99 super chat. I didn't want you to rip me. Oh god. I didn't want you to rip me a fat one. Oh, thanks. Oh, Mortifier V, restore the Snyderverse. I can't wait for that shit to come out. Bring it! Snyder cut! Bring it! I want to see what the movie could have been. I'm really interested in that. Why not? But hey, let's get back to this.
Not only that, it was coming out on Christmas, like a wonderful warm gift to unwrap as a reward for finishing the hellish year that was 2020. But like 2020 in general, watching Wonder Woman 1984 wasn't so much like opening a Christmas gift as it was a strange and surprising endurance test that I did not sign up for. Watching this film felt like that time on Christmas where you're stuck alone driving to a boring church service with your talkative, judgmental grandma who asks just a bit too many personal questions about your recent gender confirmation vaginoplasty surgery.
Oh my god. You just had to add that, didn't you? Didn't you? That just broke you in half, didn't it? Nathan Pattinson, 199 Super Chat. I love you, JL. You're so witty and best friend material. Oh, thank you. I've never been told that before, actually. Jay, 499 Super Chat. Corridor Crew has a series where they get stuntmen to explain action scenes in films. One video, they explain how Birds of Prey has the worst fight scenes. I'm gonna look that shit up. Andres Antonio Gonzalez Caceres, $30 woo. I didn't want me to pay the Super Chat. Sorry. Okay, now I'm starting to get it. Like, I was wondering, like, why the fuck are people saying they're sorry for shit? And I'm so fucking slow. I didn't get it, but yeah, now I get it. Funny. Very funny. Thank you. And thank you for the Super Chat and suggesting me this video, because, yeah. It's not that bad yet, but I think it's gonna get there. Evil Hero Diamond Cat, $2 Super Chat. How is the DCEU and Randy? And I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Rex, 199 Super Chat. Any thoughts on Godzilla versus Kong trailer? Oh, that trailer was whack. Like, it wasn't terrible. It was just corny. It's like the same. At least they're being honest this time. Like, this trailer doesn't look as manipulative as, what was it? Godzilla King of Monsters trailer. That Godzilla King of Monsters trailer was like immaculate. It made the movie look way better than it was. Made it look like, oh, we're gonna get something really heartfelt and poetic, you know, with these CGI monsters wrecking shit. But then it turns out it's just like one of those movies where they put a lot of big actors in it and just a lot of good CGI, but a lot of big actors just saying shit to each other. And with Godzilla versus Kong, they're being way more honest about it. It's like, yeah, it's a big ass spectacle. We got a bunch of fucking actors just saying shit and speaking for these two fucking CGI gargantuan monsters. Like, there's one line that fucking made me laugh. Like, Kong, what the fuck was it? Kong bows to no one. I'm like, bitch, how the fuck do you know that? You have conversations with this nigga? Well, how do you know that? You his ex? Jesus. Yeah, like, you just got actors basically sucking the monsters' dicks. Like, how do you know this information? Like, I've always said this ever since I saw Godzilla King of Monsters. Why don't you just make it where we see how all these animals live and how all these monsters live, and you do it in a way like a National Geographic type format where you get a narrator like narrating everything, so we have no fucking lame ass human characters getting in the way. That way you get you see the monsters throughout the whole film. You get like a sense of their purpose and personality and their motivations, and you could see a lot of fights and shit with no human interaction slowing it the fuck down. That would be great, but no fucking studio has the balls to do that. We gotta put Alexander Skarsgård in there. We gotta put that bitch from. We gotta put that actress from what's her face from this in there. Like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Mr. N, $5. Let me finish this shit. Oh God. Mechaboo, $5 super chat. I'm sorry. Mr. N, $5 super chat. Why does the LGBT? Why does the LGBT entitled to bring up personal lives and discussions that don't involve them? It's not that deep. True, and I'm gonna go on a rant about that. But someone asked about Godzilla versus Kong, and I got sidetracked. Equestron, $4.99 super chat. Zack Snyder co-writes the story for the first film. Critical raves. Zack Snyder doesn't co-write the story for WW84. No critical raves. Coincidence? No. Michael Johnson Curry, 4.99 super chat. I've noticed a lack of cleavage in recent videos. Thanos said he was only going to take half. He took it all. Jokes aside, I love your stuff. Thank you. Fuck. Stop scrolling. Shark Tamer, 2.99 super chat. Hopefully your week has gone good so far. It's gone pretty good. Pretty good. Roy McGarry? I'm guessing. Sorry if I'm butchering that. $20 super chat. Didn't get a chance to super chat on your birthday. So happy birthday. A little late. Why is Jack from Red Letter Media in a wig, in a wig and bashing Wonder Woman 1984? That's funny. All right, Grayson Craze, sorry, 4.99 super chat. Drinking Ryan on my dorm's balcony. Cheers from Nola. Oh, Nola, what's up? Okay, this is the last one, and I gotta go. Moondoggy, $5 super chat. Love your videos, Jane Long. Any chance for an NOC feminist TikTok part 3 or ACAB TikTok? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see after I'm done with this next NOC, number 31. We'll see. We gonna see. But anyway, yeah, the whole thing she said about her fucking, like, actually, y'all probably done forgot since then, so let's rewind it.
Alone driving to it that I did not sign up for. Watching this film felt like that time on Christmas where you're stuck alone driving to a boring church service with your talkative, judgmental grandma who asks just a bit too many personal questions about your recent gender confirmation vaginoplasty surgery.
Like, what? That... You ever heard that expression that the left can't meme and they're really bad at telling jokes? Yeah. All you had to do was say bottom surgery. Bottom surgery. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, you just had to say that. All you had to do was say bottom surgery and people would have known exactly what the fuck you were talking about. And my judgmental grandma asked me questions about a surgery that affected my fucking life. God forbid your grandma asked questions about something that could have killed you. God forbid that someone who loves you worries about you. Oh shit! Oh, the pain of it all. And judgmental. That's as far as it seems like that's as far as your grandma goes with like your transgenderism. So it's like, what you complaining about? Guys, when people are old, you sometimes, well, not when they're old, period, but when they're old and you're related to them, sometimes you gotta give them a pass. Like, if you know they're not being hateful, if you know they're just being old and out of touch, you just gotta let it go. They're gonna be dead soon anyway. Just let it go. There's a lot of shit I let go with my grandparents, even with my parents. You just gotta let it go. Fucking let it go. Because at the end of the day, they love you, and if they're not being hateful and abusive, at the end of the day, they just love you, and sometimes they're dicks about it because they grew up in the wrong fucking generation. They can't help it. They can't really help that, to be honest. But, like I said, God forbid someone gives a shit about if you come out of a fucking surgery safe. Anyway, let's move on.
Experience that you desperately wished you could escape, but sadly realized that you simply must survive. That might have gotten a little bit too oddly specific.
Yes. It's almost like the joke is you really forced that joke. And it went on for way too long.
Anyways, I don't like being a negative person. I like making videos about the things that excite me or move me. So I almost decided to just not make this video at all on Wonder Woman 1984. But the more I thought about it, the more this film sort of stuck with me, the more I realized I had a lot to say. Because to me, while I believe this film has some disturbing moral implications, I think its failures provide an interesting jumping off point in how shallow depictions of female icons and feminist empowerment can actually be unintentionally harmful.
You got a problem with shallow depictions of female empowerment, but you love Birds of Prey? Press X to doubt on that one. Yeah, okay. Like, I remember the first scene, not the first scene, it might have been I don't know, see that's how bad Birds of Prey is. I don't even know which scene is which, but there's one scene where Harley Quinn was trying to pinpoint a reason why Black Mask, something Sionis, I forgot what the fuck his name was. Well, reason Black Mask didn't like her. And one of the reasons was that she's a fucking Bernie supporter. Like, it just... okay, motherfucker. Plus, and then there was this other criminal. It was just some, like, you know, it's just like the standard social justice warrior jabs that are in that movie. And it's, yeah, and yeah, it's shallow. It's hella shallow. Shallow expressions of female empowerment in that film, definitely. But, like, you love that movie, but have a problem with this one. I think the problem is that Wonder Woman 1984 doesn't try to empower women. It's just a fucking movie. It's just a superhero movie. They're not trying to empower women. They're just trying to make a Wonder Woman movie. I mean, they failed at it, but you know.
And because of that, this will allow me to make this video be productive rather than just a rant about something that I dislike, because heaven knows that YouTube doesn't need more of that type of content. Oh, and yeah,
my God, what? Let me rewind that. Let me hear that again.
And because of that, this will allow me to make this video be productive rather than just a rant about something that I dislike, because heaven knows that YouTube doesn't need more of that type of content. Oh.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean? YouTube doesn't need that type of content. Says who? Says fucking who? There's some people where I've like followed some of the best fucking content creators because they had one of those negative rant videos. Like, so what does that mean? You know, we've had enough of those negative rant videos, but what about videos that are just overwhelmingly positive and offer no other insight to a film that it was so good, man. It was so fucking good. Because it seemed like she was gearing up to do that until she saw the fucking movie. But anyway, let's move on.
And yeah, I am going to go full Shijoa on this thing, so be...
Oh, I'm gonna screen cap that. I'm gonna screen cap it. There. Boom. Alright. Let's get back to it. I wanted to get that shit.
Be prepared for that. So, before we dive in, I just want to make clear, while I am going to be highly critical of this film, I am not condemning the filmmakers. I like Patty Jenkins, everyone...
What's the name of your fucking video again? Wonder Woman 1984 is a moral failure, and how you said, like, the messages for women in this movie are dangerous, but you're not condemning the filmmakers. Alright, I guess I can pussy out, too. Like, yeah, a dramatic showcase of what it's like to pussy out on your fucking views.
Everyone has off films, especially ones that were made within a studio system with tons of chefs in the kitchen, as this film reportedly had.
Tons of chefs in the kitchen. She wrote it and directed it. Like, she's the only writer, which I think, didn't they give her all the power with this one?
I'm also going to talk about some of the positives of this film, because there are some. This discussion isn't part of that annoyingly reductive faux culture war that so many in YouTube need every single piece of geek culture to fit into. That's lazy film criticism that actually ignores nuanced conversation and critical engagement with a work.
Oh, and by the way, I'm going to be mostly focusing on the moral and philosophical and ethical implications of this film, not the
philosophical and ethical. This movie, okay. But see, that's the thing, I'm sure she'll say something to contradict herself. Moral and philosophical, even though this movie's supposed to be like tongue-in-cheek, goofy, and, you know, silly.
bonkers plot developments that happens and the complete lack of logic throughout the entirety of the film. If you want some discussion...
Like, how can this movie be bad and have a lack of logic, but, like, still have deep philosophical meaning to it? He-Man, £5 super chat. You can't criticize art for being dangerous without saying that the artist is responsible for harm. She is absolutely condemning the crew. Yeah, exactly. I don't like when I make my craft review. I'm gonna say that like, some of the fucking messages in that film is kind of harmful to teach young girls. Like you're marketing this movie towards young girls, and you're teaching them. I'm not gonna say what because I'm gonna save it for the video. But like some of the shit that is being taught should not be taught. And I'm straight up fucking condemning the filmmakers for being tone deaf. Period. Now, technically, I'm not saying you're a horrible person, but I'm condemning you for these bad messages. I'm condemning you as a filmmaker because you should be a little smarter than that. But yeah, I'm full on fucking I'm not gonna pussy out and say, oh, I'm not condemning these people. I'm just saying. Total, like when she said she was gonna go total social justice warrior, she was right, because that's exactly what they do every single fucking time. I'm like, I'm not saying you're this, but I hate that shit. Also, what the fuck was I gonna say? Ooh. I had it right in my head and I lost it. I was gonna go off about something and I fucking lost it. It was right there. Oh wait, I'm just gonna think for a minute, guys, because I was gonna say something, and it just jumped right out of my brain. Oh god. You know what? It'll come back to me. It will fucking come back to me. I'll get it. But let's just keep going.
Of that, I'll recommend some videos in the down below that you could watch for some just discussions of the baffling choices in this movie. But if I had focused on them here, this video would have been like 3 hours long, as it almost was. I actually wrote like 4.
Hey, it wouldn't be 3 hours long if you cut out some bad jokes and skits. I'm just saying. A Phantom of the Night, 999 super chat. This movie sends bad messages about women, but I won't blame the woman who wrote it because it's the system's fault. Accountability, what's that? Yeah, that's basically a low-key, she's low-key trying to absolve the female writer and director from any responsibility for sending any bad messages. That's basically what it is. Just remembered that. Thank you for reminding me.
4 pages of a script that I did not include in this video because I was just ranting at that point about the complete lack of logic in this movie.
I want to be number one. An apex predator.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was.
And finally, if you entirely disagree with me and you loved Wonder Woman 1984 and it inspired you or moved you or excited you, that is so awesome.
I disagree, and I still think this movie should.
Good critical conversations never happen in a vacuum, and I want to hear your thoughts. I just hope that this video makes you think about the issues surrounding the film, at least the ones that interested me. And with that all said, let's get into Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh, the review starts like 6 minutes in. 6 minutes and 40 seconds in.
Yeah, that's right. Get used to it.
So let's start off like Wonder Woman 1984 did with the positives, because the positives of this film actually highlight the later flaws within it. The film's first 15
I am, but my OBS... Okay, never mind. OBS has informed me that we are good. Seems like as soon as like the fucking review started, my internet started going like bullshit. Hang on, let me rewind this since it went right out, and I'm sure you'll you're gonna have a problem remembering what the fuck just happened.
Get used to it.
So let's start off like Wonder Woman 1984 did with the positives, because the positives of this film actually highlight the later flaws within it. The film's first 15 minutes are wonderful. Returning to Theranos.
No, they're not. They're not. And fact, it went way too long, and it was just like, why? Like this, I don't think this scene was needed.
Here, a society of diverse warrior women just living their best warrior women life on a beautiful island still feels, perhaps a little sadly, fresh and new. And by the way, Robin Wright is just...
Because this is specifically about women, like a society of women by themselves doing shit. It still feels fresh and new, even though it's not, because Wonder Woman's been around for a long time. Like, on screen, maybe it's new, but in the comics, it's been around for the longest time. I don't understand why it has to be on screen in order for it to be validated, but whatever.
Just so goddamn attractive. Y'all know this little bisexual YouTuber has a thing for women who could totally beat me up. See, Furiosa and Starbug. Excuse me. Anyways, I love the visual inventiveness of this opening sequence as well. I have no...
Inventiveness is fucking yellow. Everything is like yellow and kind of greenish. In fact, the fucking text in the... I've said this before in my own review, but the text in the fucking opening just blends in with the sand on the beach and shit, and you're like, struggle. Like, if you have bad eyesight, like me, you'll be struggling to read that shit. And I think the editor knew that and changed some of the text later on in the opening credits, because then they start changing color, and I'm like, nigga, it's too late. They already blended in with the sand earlier.
No idea what's happening, but if all sports were like this, I would actually watch sports. And I will say the film...
Oh, plus didn't she say the sport shit?
Furiosa and Starbug.
Hang on.
Excuse me. Anyways, I love the visual inventiveness of this opening sequence as well. I have no idea what's happening, but if all sports were like this, I would actually watch sports.
You said you had no idea what was happening, but like it's... But if sports were like this, I'd watch sports, even though I have no idea what the hell's happening. It's a good scene, but you didn't know what the hell was happening. And some of the challenges were kind of nonsensical, let's be real. There's one where they're two chicks, like, on this thing. It looks like kind of like a, what do you call it? Oh god, I'm so old, I already forgot what the fuck things were on a playground. But anyway, like, it's this thing that they were hanging on. I'm like, what the fuck? What point is there for this? Whatever.
And I will say, the film does a wonderful job throughout its entire runtime of being incredibly creative and campy with its action sequences. A consistent positive, even if the
Creative? Okay, anyway, like, creative, the fight scenes weren't creative. They were campy, though. I don't think they were creative. Like I could have seen, I think I've seen some, like, I think I'd seen most of that shit in other movies. Especially this scene. Like, you don't say the fight scenes are creative and show me this.
CGI
this dark-ass scene.
Hold up from and campy with its action sequences. A consistent positive, even if the CGI work doesn't hold up from time to time. And the
From time to time? Cheetah was like an atrocious monstrosity.
opening does also function as a great reintroduction to Diana. Her tenacity, her sometimes unbecoming but somewhat earned arrogance, and her
Why do we have to have a reintroduction? We knew how she was as a kid, and we knew how she was as a young adult and as an adult. Why the fuck do we need a reintroduction? You know what a reintroduction would have been? Is showing her and how she fights crime in 1984. That's a reintroduction. Why do we need to go all the way back to childhood?
exceptionalism, even among exceptional women. The opening also just has that right kind of campiness for a film that is intentionally evoking 1980 cinema and Silver Age comics. It also sets up a
I never felt like this was, 1984, this is definitely 1984. It felt like a studio backlot. It did not feel like 1984.
strong theme for
Not even like campy 1984 films. It didn't feel that way to
the
me.
film going forward, that cheating isn't the right way to win.
You cheated, Diana. That is the truth.
It's something that we will be talking about later, how that theme actually plays out, but I like how it's set up here. These first few
Yeah, see, look how this fucking text blends into this yellow shit. Look at that. You see that shit? No. Can't can't see that. You cannot see, if you have bad eyes. Like, I'm looking at it through OBS right now because the screen is a lot smaller, and I can't see that shit. I cannot for the life of me see that. Anyway, like I was saying, what the fuck was I saying?
Minutes are everything that I hoped Wonder Woman 1984 would be. A campy yet sincere, visually inventive film with a strong message delivered through an off.
A strong message is a fucking after-school message. Don't cheat, kids. Do not cheat. And look, see how the text changes here? Because it would have blended perfectly with the fucking sand. Oh, it's so shitty. Anyway. It's a fucking after school special lesson. It's not anything special. And it doesn't really go that far beyond that.
Soft, underrepresented feminine lens. It all just works.
An underrepresented feminine lens. Why is it feminine? I didn't get the feeling from that. I thought Diana's mentor was kind of like a dad figure. I didn't think of her as, oh, it's a feminine lens. Never got that. Ever. And when the mother comes up and hugs her and says, oh, yeah, she's like, yeah, but she's a mom. Like, moms aren't gonna, like, moms have just, this is the first movie where moms have comforted their kids. I don't get the feminine lens from that scene. Just because there's a lot of women in it doesn't mean it's from a feminine lens. Because, like I said, Robin Wright Penn seemed like more of like a daddy figure for Diana, because she was the one teaching her how to fight, teaching her lessons and shit, like harsh lessons. And it feels like yeah, she was like the daddy figure, and then Connie Nielsen would come in and she's the mommy. She is her mom, but like she's the mom character. That's what it felt to me. I didn't feel a feminine lens from that scene at all.
And that energy carries into the very next scene with Wonder Woman going around in 1984 and just saving folks. It's just super sweet.
The feminine lens was brought into that scene.
And it's honestly something we needed more of in the DC film universe. Just heroes being heroes. Part of the
yeah, because we didn't see that in any other. Like, look, I'll admit they're not good. They're not great movies. They're not really. But they still acted like heroes, though.
The reason why Zack Snyder's Superman doesn't work is he's just so damn dour and depressing, even when he's saving people. Like, not exactly inspiring hero stuff.
Oh God! Wait.
Man, I just saved a bunch of people from a fire. Better look depressed.
Oh my God, how could you misinterpret a scene so badly? He says, hey, he looks dour and shit. It's like, look, have you ever known a fucking firefighter to smile while they're saving children from a burning building? Fuck no.
Is he just so damn dour and depressing, even when
he's not dour in the scene. This is the wrong fucking clip. Look, Batman vs. Superman is not a good movie. Like, it's not a great movie. It's not a perfect movie, but you use the wrong. You can use any other fucking clip besides this.
he's saving people. Like,
he's clearly smiling when he gives the girl to her fucking mama.
Not exactly
Look
inspiring hero stuff. Meh.
He's clearly, and she cut away before he full on smiled. And the reason why he looks dour right here in this scene is because he feels uncomfortable with people worshiping him like a god for saving a little girl out of a fucking burning building. He's uncomfortable with the hero worship. Which is understandable. Like, look at these creepy motherfuckers like reaching for him in that makeup. I would be uncomfortable. I would be frowning. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing? What's your issue with it? Any other scene you could have chosen? Like, in my opinion, there's not enough scenes, where we see him as Clark and he's happy and he's living his life and whatever. There's not enough relationship scenes with him and Lois and how that relationship grounds him. Like, we could see some happiness through that. We could see some camaraderie between him and all the people he works with. Could have been a lot more. The movie could have been a lot lighter than it was. But you picked the wrong goddamn scene. This scene has a reason for why it's like this. And like I said, he smiled when he handed that girl off to her mother. And I love how you conveniently cut away before he started smiling. Actually, he was already smiling. But it was like a slow, because the scene was kind of slow. But like when he full on smiled, like when he handed the girl off to the mother, you cut that out. But even if you didn't, we could still tell. What the fuck?
I just saved a bunch of people from a fire. Better look depressed. Is this Superman just immune to a goddamn smile? Oh god, not like that.
He smiled in that scene, bitch. He smiled in that scene.
I don't mind dark and gritty storytelling. I love The Expanse, for example. But you can't tell me that Superman is a hero that inspires everyone in this universe. You have to show me that.
True. But like I said, you picked the wrong fucking scene. Oh, wait. Chai says, you're just jealous they're touching him and you're not. Ferk Polo, I think that's what it says. Does anyone know why Diana is famous in this movie? What's she famous for? She's not known as Wonder Woman, even though she's famous and doesn't wear a mask. Yeah, I know, it's kind of fucking weird. She's famous, but no one knows. Like, there's no way in hell no one knows what she looks like. There's someone, like some fucking overzealous cop would have been asking about who the fuck this bitch is. And like, hey, if you've seen her, give us a sketch of what she could possibly look like. And we'll go from there. But I don't know. Oh, Kelvin Schubert, Wonder Woman wasn't inspiring people either. She was trying to stay secret. Yeah, exactly. This was a part of her life where she was, quote, secluded. Which, yeah, also doesn't really line up with the rest of the films either, because she's not really that secluded in this one. So,
And 1984 does that with its heroine. Diana just enjoys her work, and you get the feeling that people honestly are inspired by her. I mean, look at this little girl. It's just so...
Wow, one little girl. She's inspiring people. One little girl. Who she tells, like, hey, shut the fuck up about my existence or I'll kill you. I'll add that last part. But she's not really inspiring people if she doesn't go out there and, makes her presence known completely. Just because she winks to a little girl doesn't mean that's really inspiring. Not really.
So wonderful. And it just manages to hit that campy tone just perfectly right, with Wonder Woman using her tiara as a batarang and Breaking Guns saying things like this.
I hate guns.
This is the hero we deserve, Batfleck. These two...
Oh, stop. No. Oh, she hates guns, which is just such a commonplace fucking line in a superhero film. They did the same thing in Black Panther. Oh, you people, such primitive weapons like guns. Like, shut the fuck primitive while holding a goddamn spear. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. But that's a different rant.
Two opening scenes are the best part of the movie, and it just baffles me that Warner Brothers apparently wanted to cut these two scenes out, and Patty Jenkins had to fight for them, which goes to show you where a lot of the problems that...
No, see, yeah, you're being kind of manipulative here too. Because this article title and it's you're being kind of manipulative here. They wanted to get rid of both scenes. No, they wanted to get rid of one or the other. Hang on. OBS is giving me bullshit again. OBS is giving me shit again. Yeah, it's just me testing out. If you can still see me, I'm just testing out websites to see if the internet is fucked up. Because OBS says I'm in the red. Which I shouldn't be, because I'm still... Well, oh, wait. No, there it is. Don't fuck with me, OBS. Y'all can still see me, right? Okay, seems like we're fine now. But, look at this article title and the little line and the little summation, underneath it. Patty Jenkins, Warner Brothers took issue with Wonder Woman 84 double opening scenes. Jenkins refused to give in to the studio's wish to cut either the mall action scene or the Amazon Olympic sequence. I can already tell you right now, they probably wanted her to cut the opening Olympic scene. because it's pointless. It's just fucking, it's pointless. It's filler. You don't need it. We don't need to go back to her childhood to see how she is as a character. Okay, we're back. OBS is back in the green. We're good. I was paranoid before, because when it's in the red, I'm just like, oh. No matter what anyone. Yo. Hello. Hello. Oh, you guys see me now? You had to restart OBS, piece of shit. Well, not restart OBS, but I had to restart the stream. Damn it. I had to turn, I had to stop the streaming and then restart it again. I don't know what the fuck that was about. Ugh. All right. And like I said, I said this when I thought you guys could hear me. I went to, like, it was out for so long, and I was like, I just left to go get my dinner and came back. But anyway, I've got my nourishment, so let's get back to it.
Later on may be coming from, but that's just speculation. To show you where a lot of the problems that I have with this film later on may be coming from, but that's just speculation.
Like, you can't just say the studio was like, oh, the studio is the problem for all the problems in the film, because they tried to get one of the openings cut out. No, it seems like them wanting to get one of the openings cut out was actually a positive. That would have been a positive for this movie, because that Olympian scene was not fucking needed.
But sadly, we have to move on, because as the movie's plot progressed and things got further and further into the story, the more the entire film made me feel not only confused, but deeply uncomfortable with its choices. At the start of Wonder Woman 1984, we learned that despite it being 70 years since Steve Trevor's death, Diana has been holding a candle for Steve ever since. Not only that, but her entire apartment is like some creepy shrine to Steve Trevor.
Her whole it's not her whole fucking apartment. It's literally this one fucking shelf right here. She's got a picture, like 2 pictures of him and his watch. That's it. Like, that's fucking it. And like, I hate this gripe about the movie. Well, you know what? I'm gonna wait until it gets a little further into her.
Is that she has nothing else going on in her life. She even gets sad brunches so she can stare longingly at planes flying overhead. I'm sorry, this is what got me. I don't know why I was hung up on this, but she stares longingly at planes. Like, because Steve... Fucking once. Don't oversell it. Well, anyway, let's get into what I wanted to complain about. She is immortal. I hate this gripe about the movie. Like, even, I think RLM said it, even EFAP guy said it. It's like, why are you hung up on this guy for 77 years? Because she's fucking immortal. That's number one. Immortals live on different... Time works differently with them. They react to time differently than we do. With us, everything is urgent. Everything, like, we need to move on because we don't have a lot of time. We get old, we get sick, we die. Anything could happen to us at any point. Diana, she is a fucking immortal. She ain't never gonna die. She's always gonna be young. She's always gonna have an unlimited amount of energy. Nothing's urgent for her. So yeah, she's just like, and plus this was her supposed years of seclusion. So she was always kind of, and plus, not to mention, this was the first man she had ever met. And she got, and like, that was her first love, the first man she ever met. So she kind of got caught up in that, what people like this person would say, heteronormativity, whatever the fuck, however the fuck you say it, whatever. But yeah, that was her first love. She found something else, like she found something else to fight for and blah, 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 you know, that whole thing. But yeah, we as humans, yeah, we're not going to be hung up on somebody for 78 years because it'd basically be fucking impossible. That's number one.
Number two, yeah, like, so our lives are urgent. We get sick, we get old, we die, anything could happen, and we gotta move on. Like, we have no choice but to move on to somebody else. But her, she has the option to stay fucking depressed shit over one nigga. Like, that's her. She can do that. Because time does not work for immortals the same way it does for us. But anyway, getting off that. But like I said, that's why I hate that gripe, because it just does, it's like, I understand why she's hung up on him. First love, first man she's ever known, immortal, and on top of that, that was like the best man for her, like, that she ever known. He was heroic and shit. He was heroic, romantic, and all that shit. He died. He sacrificed himself, for Christ's sake. And then after that, she had to fight bad guys, and she saw the worst that humanity or man had to offer. So I guess she thought, hey, if that's as good as it's gonna get, when it comes to, like, that's a high standard. Like, you got a heroic motherfucker who sacrifices himself to save people. Like, there's gonna be a lot of men. There's a lot of men who are not gonna live up to that, especially her being an Amazonian woman. So yeah, she's hung up on this man, this Superman, that she fell in love with, and no other man measures up, because she spends most of her time, even in this movie, fighting off greasoids. So no other man measures up. She's not an open person. She's secluded, apparently. First man she ever met, first love, immortal, and there, you know, like I said, time works differently for them. Yeah, she's hung up on this nigga. So that gripe for the movie does not work for me. It doesn't work. I'm sorry if that was your problem with the movie, but your problem sucks. Anyway, let's move on.
Trevor was a pilot, get it? Like, does every single time a plane passes overhead during her day, does she just get wistful? Whenever she's sad, she just gets on a motorcycle and just drives down to the airport and just longingly stares at airstrips.
What's fucking wrong with that? I have a feeling y'all YouTubers have never loved anybody. Like, Jesus Christ. She loves somebody. Oh. How? Damn. Like, you loveless bastards.
A bizarre choice to have her, like, wistful about planes. But this highlights the problem. It's been 70 years. You're telling me that Diana formed no other relationships in that time that she's got?
Did you not fucking remember? During this part of her life, she was not opening up to anybody. She had a conversation with I can't believe I'm defending this goddamn movie. But she had a conversation with that cheetah bitch, and she said, I'm envious with how open and personable you are, because I'm not like that. Look, I know the movie sucks, but that doesn't mean you have to keep adding on shit to complain about. Well, we all know why she's complaining about this shit. God forbid a woman love a man.
Got nothing else going on. She works at a dang museum. You're telling me she didn't have to network to get that kind of amazing job? And you're telling me that the kind, empathetic Diana made zero friends. This lady seems...
She was not personable. She may be kind and empathetic, but that doesn't automatically mean, oh, I'm a dick, I'm hopping on every dick that I see. That does not equal that. And empathetic does not automatically mean, oh, I love you, and I love you, and I love you, and I love you. You seem to mistake empathetic with sympathetic. I can empathize with someone with not want. I can empathize with somebody. I can empathize with a man and not want to fuck him. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that the whole feminist thing, though? Like, just because I show a man, like, the least bit of kindness doesn't mean I owe him the draws. Like, isn't that the feminist thing, though? And now it's kind of like, you're kind of like, okay, she's empathetic. She should be getting plenty of dick. That's not how that works. She's empathetic to plight. She's a fucking superhero. She has to be. But that don't mean she's gonna be hopping from dick to dick. I'm sure Bruce Wayne is empathetic. Bruce Wayne is empathetic. Like, Batman is empathetic to people. But that doesn't mean he's not secluded. And that he's not... Come on. Like, yeah, he's in relationships, but, like, he's got to put up the front that he is a playboy billionaire. So, yeah, of course.
Seems like she's the person that would totally invite you to that, like, awkward after-work hangout with a bunch of your coworkers.
Oh shit, my mic was off for a second. Hello! God damn it. I'm surprised I'll even fucking hanging in there. Fuck off. Okay. There we go. Like as I was saying, if y'all can hear me again, yeah, Diana, immortal. Time works differently. Different circumstances than human beings. That should just come naturally to people watching this film. But to criticize the movie for a second, which, well, yeah, because it deserves it. We should have had more insight into Diana's life and how she is lonely. I mean, they did say how she's lonely and all that, but like, I think we should have had better explanation about the difference Steve Trevor had on her life and her outlook on love and shit like that. If we had more on that, people would understand more. But it's like, how do you not fucking get it already? Anyway. Yeah, let's move on. Let's hope this fucking connection stays steady.
Scared, the family she left, the family that is still
Oh yeah, not only that, it's like she hasn't seen her fucking family in who knows how long.
alive, by the way.
Of course she's miserable. And I don't even know, how the fuck would she get back there? Damn, that's another question. I don't know. Yeah, she's miserable. I understand.
And was set up at the beginning of the film. She has no desire to reform relationships with the women she grew up with. We even have a good setup for this, as we later learn that Diana has been looking her entire life for this ancient warrior's armor from Themyscira's past. You could have used that to show that she was trying to find connections with the world she's not a part of anymore, trying to find a connection with Themyscira. But nah, that armor is just set up for her having a pretty outfit at the end of the film and a cameo after the credits. And it's the armor that Cheetah instantly destroys in 2 seconds, despite it apparently having kept the entire world at bay. Glad that plot point went somewhere. But this Steve obsession not only is a plot problem, but
it's not a fucking obsession. Stop it. She was in love with this man. It's not an obsession. Oh my God. It only seems like an obsession to you because you are not like 100 and something years fucking old. It's not a fucking obsession. It's nowhere near an obsession.
But it diminishes Diana as a character because it means this powerful Amazonian woman is in a state of arrested development for an entire lifetime because a single man hasn't been in her life. And no,
she still fights crime though. She still has her own career, fights crime, but hey, she's sad sometimes over a man, and she's basically worthless as a character now. She's a fucking handmaiden whore. Despite the fact that you just praised this bitch for like the opening, like the second opening scene of her saving people. And like I said, she does have a fucking career. So her life isn't halted by this man. She's just fucking miserable. But like her life still got, like, it's like regular people. Our lives may be miserable, but we still know we got shit to do. Now I can understand if she was depressive and didn't go to work and didn't eat and didn't sleep and all she could think about is, and then perfectly fine. Then I would completely understand. But she lives her life despite being miserable. Like everyone else. That just shows that that shows a personhood with this character. Now, like I said, her character's still a little thin, But it shows that she, even if she's not human, even if she's all powerful and all that, she's still relatable in some way. Like, life moves on, but like, yeah, I'm miserable, but like, life moves on and I still gotta do the damn thing. Oh, the bored enthusiast, unless it's gay. Jay Do, this bitch doesn't understand love. Like Morganshire. It's called Real Love. And Ray says, yeah, especially with a straight man. Not important. He's literally not the first human she came into contact with. That was extremely formative. What about that is so complicated? This person really hates men. But yeah, it's like what I said. This actually shows a dimension of humanity with this character. Like, despite her being all powerful, she still has fucking emotions. She still has hang-ups, and she could still be hurt like everyone else, at least emotionally. The guy who sacrificed himself and made such a difference in her life, and who she fought a war with, she's still hung up on that fuckboy? Oh, God! How pathetic! Woman who's gorgeous and has her own career, money, and does the damn thing as a superhero despite being miserable. What a handmaiden. That's what irks me about that's the criticism that I don't like about Wonder Woman 1984. That one doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I never thought it made sense.
Don't get me wrong, I would be upset if Chris Pine died too. I have definitely imagined myself being the Orion girl in Star Trek 2009, so I totally get it. He's a top tier Chris. I'm also not saying that women can't have important relationships with a man, but that it
okay. Alright.
define them solely.
It didn't define her. It defined the plot. Part of the plot.
I'm also not saying that women can't have important...
And it didn't really define the plot. The plot was... Yeah, the movie has no plot. It sucks. But that didn't define her. Not really. I know it kind of felt that way because, like I said, the movie sucks. But saying, oh, that's all that defined her. Not her heroism. Not like the two fucking scenes. Not like the double, like the extra long fucking opening that we didn't need to be that long. That didn't personify her at all.
important relation.
But like I said, this movie was thin. That's where I got the problem. Like, most of my problem. The character was thin because the movie was fucking thin. It didn't really have a central theme. And the theme they did go with is fucking weak. Like, the theme they tried to have is fucking weak as shit. So it just seems like her life centered around him, even though it fucking didn't. Because I think Patty Jenkins wanted some kind of message movie instead of actually building up her character. But it wasn't centered around him. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, he was a part of her wish, but that was just to tell a story about how people can be selfish, and people can be selfish, and while their motivations can be good, something bad and untoward can be brought out of that. Some shit. It's still weak. Like, the movie's, like I said, the movie's not good, it's not well written. But saying that her life revolved around him is just like, that's just...
relationships with a man, but that it shouldn't define them solely. Diana has so much in her life, yet doesn't seem to care about it at all. This story...
Maybe because... Like, oh, death shouldn't affect you guys. It really shouldn't. It shouldn't shut you off from the rest of the world. Ugh. Because the whole thing with her character in the first film, it does kind of carry over to the second film. Where she, like, okay, man is like, it's kind of, I don't know. I don't want to think I like humans. Humans are kind of like, they're kind of evil and shit. Kind of do bad things. And so, I don't like it. And so, his death probably could have reignited some of those feelings. Like I said, they didn't do a good job at conveying it. But to say, like, her life revolves around, it's just,
story beat is especially weird because the entire plot of the very last DCEU movie, Birds of Prey, was about a woman, Harley Quinn, being able to find identity outside of a single male relationship and define herself by other, oft-female relationships.
Wait a minute. So it's okay. Wait a minute. No, time out. You thought I wouldn't catch that shit. Hang on, rewind it.
Weird because the entire plot of the very last DCEU movie, Birds of Prey, was about a woman, Harley Quinn, being able to find identity outside of a single male relationship and define herself by other, oft-female relationships.
Wait, so it's okay. So it's see, I knew I was right. That this is all about just like some man-hating bullshit. So it's bad to define yourself off of a relationship with a man, but it's bad to define yourself off of relationship with a man, but it's good to define yourself off relationship with multiple women. No. He basically is explaining why Birds of Prey isn't a good movie. She instead of projecting herself onto a man, she projects herself onto several women. That's better because vagina, I guess. I love it, like, oh, this movie, like, Birds of Prey, even though it's no better than this movie, it's still better because more vag. Bring out the vag. Oh, vag. Vagorama, Vagville, Vagtown. Like, get out of here. So yeah, keep that in mind, girls. Girls out there, don't define yourself by a male relationship. Define yourself by a female relationship, because that's better.
We go from that story to a story where the world's most powerful woman has completely defined her life by a man who isn't even around anymore, despite...
No! It only seems that way because, like I said, this movie's poorly written. I think Patty Jenkins was way more focused on the central theme than building up this character. That's the problem.
Her having an amazing job powers and a wardrobe that I would literally murder someone for. Like, honestly, my wardrobe looks like it was curated by Miss Frizzle. Girl, you got stuff going on. I'm not saying Wonder Woman can't love a man or be hung up on a man. Not every empowering feminist
it's just that she should be hung up on a woman instead.
This film has to eschew men. I mean, see the first Wonder Woman film for the lovely relationship between Diana and Steve that is there. But having Diana's soul-defining feature being that she's pining after Pine sucks the independence and inner strength she exudes in all.
That doesn't mean she's not independent. What the fuck? Saves people, still does that shit, has her own fucking career, but that's not enough. She's got to be she's got to either overshadow men or completely be devoid of men in her life. Either one. And you can't like pine for him. You can't be sad that the only man you've ever loved died. You can't do that. That's just weak, bitch. That's weakness. Emotion from men is weakness. Period.
All of her other films, something she even had in...
Oh, and guess what? She was pining for him in Batman vs. Superman. She was pining for him in Justice League. And she was pining for him near the end of, at the end of the first fucking Wonder Woman movie. She was pining for him throughout all these fucking films. But see, if we draw attention to it, then it's like, oh, ew, gross. Yeah, because you know why? Because she had other shit to do in these other movies. But like I said, Patty Jenkins was more focused on the central theme than building up characters. That was her fucking problem.
In Batman v Superman and Justice League, even considering Zack Snyder's weird treatment of women in those films.
What? Huh? It's weird, like, he got a weird treatment of women, but like he shows her being way more independent in this than in her own movie, which was written by a woman. What? He got weird treatment of women. He shows them doing stuff, and I don't know. A man showing a woman actually doing stuff. There's got to be something insidious behind that.
And I would hope that the reason why this is a problem, not just for the character, but for representation of women in general, would be obvious. But in brief, women throughout film history, and all fiction in general, are often solely defined and characterized by their relationship to men in the story. It's a reflection of how, in real life, women are often seen as needing to exist in a secondary place to men and for men. There's a reason that the Bechdel test, which is meant as a low bar for writing female characters, not the average, is just having two women talk about someone who isn't a guy. Again, not
There's plenty of that. Like,
to say women...
you know what passes the Bechdel test? Twilight. Fucking Twilight. And all Bella talks about is that weak-ass Edward. Fucking Twilight passes the Bechdel test. So I don't even know why is this even being mentioned. What year is it? What year is it that this fucking test is being mentioned?
Can't or shouldn't talk about men or have men in their life, but to have Wonder Woman, who has come to be seen as a beacon of female strength and independence, be so singularly and ridiculously encapsulated by a male relationship, sadly reinforces this idea.
Because it's not because she's a man and she needs to pine after a man because she's a woman. It's because the central theme is about wishes and what you wish you would have. And the only thing she wants is Steve Trevor. Which actually highlights her power and independence as a character, because she wants nothing else but him. She don't need nothing else but that nigga. But she still lives her life regardless of that nigga not being in her life. Like, what the fuck? It's not that I don't want her to be attached to a man. Fuck off. Fuck off. You a lie. You a goddamn lie.
That even the strongest women need and require a strong male relationship in order to have a fulfilling life. So, what I'm saying is, male relationship sadly reinforces this idea that not to say women can't or shouldn't talk about men or have men in their life, but to have Wonder Woman, who has come to be seen as a beacon of female strength and independence, be so singularly and ridiculously encapsulated by a male relationship, sadly reinforces this idea that even...
But she gives him up in the end, signifying that she got no choice but to get over it, because life is what it is, and you got to fucking accept it the way it is. It's kind of the message of the film. That you can't have it all. That you can only, you can only have the truth. Oh my God. I can't believe I'm defending this movie. And I'm actually finding some a little bit of a banger from this piece of shit. But, yeah. The truth is that he's dead and he's not coming back. You're not going to get him back, so you might as well get over it and move on. That's the fucking thing with the movie. Yeah! How do you not know this? And plus, don't forget, Batman vs. Superman, Justice League shows that, she is independent. She does her own thing. Steve Trevor ain't in any of those movies. He's referenced. But like I said, she was in love with this nigga. I don't know what you want.
the strongest women need and require a...
And no one says she needs him. She thinks she needs him, still needs him, because she was in love with him. She wouldn't give him up. That kind of fucking happens when a loved one dies and you love them. You want them to be back and with you. It's got nothing to do with gender. It's got everything to do with loving someone. This fucking gripe irritates me to no end. How can you be this fucking emotionally retarded? Oh my God. If this was her sister or her mother, would we be fucking having this conversation? Would this even be a thing? No. But he has a dick, so it's a thing. She's got a pussy and he's got a dick, so it's a thing.
A strong male relationship in order to have a fulfilling life. So what I'm saying is, every woman should be a lesbian. Not really, but I'm sure someone took this that way.
Yes. Because you completely misunderstand it. It's not about gender. It's about her loving somebody. and want him to be in her life despite the fact that there's no coming back from death. There's no coming back from that. You got to accept life the way it is and get over it and move on. But you kind of like forget that. I don't want you to fucking defend this movie. I really don't. But it seems like it's going there because you completely misinterpret what this fucking movie's about. You only see the gender. You only see the man and it's a man and a woman. And you're basing motivations on that. And not the fact that she loves this person and wants this person back. And cheated in order to do it. Ha ha ha. But no, man, which is kind of fucking sexist if you think about it. Because like I said, if it was two women, or if she like, oh, her mom died and she wanted her back, nobody would say shit. Or if this was Chris Pine wanting her back, nobody would have a goddamn thing to say. Nobody. But because it's a fucking woman, because it's a fucking woman, somebody got something to say. Because men are free to be hung up on women and pining for it and being a simp, even though they will get made fun of. But like, they're free to do that without, well, not really, but in movies, they're free to do that without really being looked at funny. But if it's a strong female character, oh, she's not strong anymore because she wants dick. She wants dick, so she's not strong anymore. Character completely fucking worthless because dick.
But I don't just want to focus on womanhood in this film, so let's talk
Oh, really?
about Steve Trevor. The plot of Wonder Woman 1984 revolves around a magical wishing rock that turns out to be a monkey's paw. You get a wish granted, but it also takes something most valuable away from you. And I gotta say, by the way, I love the wishing rock. Again, it's a perfectly campy Silver Age comic book idea for this movie. I adore that we live in an age where some scriptwriter can walk into a film executive's office and say, I want to make a movie about a magic wishing rock.
Oh, yeah, you mean like nearly every other fucking movie with like a wishing element to it? Or like Wish Upon? That dumb piece of shit.
And that executive is basically that Futurama meme.
Shut up and take my money!
But in the film...
Yeah, that's so unique. Adding like a wishing element to a movie. Who cares? Aladdin? I don't care. It's a wishing rock. It's so crazy and cool. I'm sorry. I'm still angry from that last point. I'm sorry.
Diana unintentionally uses the rock to wish Steve Trevor back to life, which, despite my problems with how defined she is by Steve as a character, this beat works for me. I, too, would wish for more Chris Pine. But instead of Steve Trevor...
Okay. Which is it, bitch? Which is it? Which is it? Oh, that's understandable. I'd wish for more Chris Pine, too. So it's okay for you to be thirsty for dick. I wish for more Chris Pine. He's so dreamy. Yeah, okay, you fucking handmaiden.
just coming back to life, we get another baffling choice. Steve Trevor comes back, but in the body of a pre-existing and completely other man. Within the film, I have no idea why this choice is made. I can't imagine Diana's wish was, I wish Steve Trevor would come back in the body of that guy from Hallmark movies. Not only that, but how the film decides to convey this information that Steve is in another person's body is incredibly confusing. We see this guy first, then the camera turns around, and then we see Chris Pine. And the film's not entirely clear what happened. Did he just transform, or what? But we quickly learn that Chris Pine is only there for our benefit, the audience's benefit, which, you know, fair enough, I want to stare at Chris Pine, but everyone else...
Yeah, see, it's okay for this person to thirst after men. I get to look at Chris Pine. God, it reminds me of that EFAT meme. You get to look at women. You get to look at men. Sausage party, bro. Oh my God. Like, I thirst after Henry Cavill, right? But it's like she keeps fucking making comments about Chris Pine. I'm like, shut up. You just went off on a fucking plot line that a woman dared to love another man, but you won't shut the fuck up about Chris Pine. Like, shut up. It's your hypocritical ass.
Even Wonder Woman sees this Hallmark guy. And this is no joke. The actor literally appears in mainly Hallmark movies, and he's literally credited as Handsome Man. Which brings me to issues beyond simply a weird plot event, because this story choice brings up more concerning issues.
The nigga got a side job. So, Anne?
First and foremost, the film seems to only be valuing this guy for his hotness. Something that the film repeatedly points out is bad when we do it to women.
Anything else I can get you? Coffee? Tea? Me?
I don't need anything from you and I'm done.
But apparently if we do it to a guy, it's just okay. Again, we learn that this man is literally credited as handsome man, despite the fact that we learn that he has a whole life. And okay, you think, okay, that's fine. That's the monkey's paw part of the deal, right? That Steve Trevor has somehow taken over this guy's life.
Oh, now you're all about equality. Oh, how come we can do I'm so sorry. I'm so irritated by this person already. I'm sorry. I appreciate you noticed that little hiccup, but you're still baffled by the prospect of a woman loving a man who died right in front of her. And still being hung up about it years later. You gotta, some reason you have a problem with that.
And has exchanged it for Wonder Woman to have him back in her life. Mm-hmm. But the characters, and by extension the movie, never seem to give a crap about this guy.
Cleaning his bedroom, but seems to me to be an engineer. Lots of pictures of himself. Not what I would do, but it's each his own.
We are left to question, does he have a life, family, friends who care about him? Who knows, because the film doesn't want us to care about that. And this leads us to some serious issues of bodily consent. Firstly, Steve and Diana endanger this man's life throughout the film with no regard for him. But Diana sleeps and is even implied to have had sex with Steve in this guy's body. How is that even remotely okay? Then at the end of the film, once the guy does get his body back, and apparently no one explained to him what happened to him that week that he just doesn't remember, and apparently the world went insane, Wonder Woman has just a meet cute with this guy. Like, I don't know how else to describe the scene. It's literally a weird meet cute. I also don't know why this scene takes place at Christmas when earlier in the film we established that we were around the 4th of July.
4th. Of course.
4th of July?
So, like, apparently Wonder Woman took, like, 5 months to have an emotional catharsis, but whatever. Now, I get that the film doesn't linger on this and just wants us to have a lighthearted, fun adventure and not worry about Steve being in this guy's body. But that's what bothers me, that the film and thereby the filmmakers made this story choice and didn't seem at all interested in actually wrestling with its implications. The choice to have Steve in this man's body adds nothing to the film as it is, and it's honestly just a weird afterthought. If the film had actually done something with this body swap, actually showed us the moral implications of it, like Diana wanting Steve, but Steve not wanting to sacrifice this guy's life, that would have been an interesting choice.
Yeah, that's why I said in my, not review, but when I was watching it, when I had my stream about it. Like, yeah, there should have been some kind of like, oh yeah, she wants to fuck him but doesn't. Because like, oh yeah, this is somebody else's body. We can't do that shit, even though we really want to. Like, yeah, that's really the real monkey's paw. Like, I want to like really be with you, like, but like I can't because like it's in someone else's body. Yeah. But like, do you really get points for that? Because everyone said that shit. Everyone knew that. You don't really get points for that because everyone said that.
And one I would have actually enjoyed watching. But no, that doesn't happen. It's just a thing that's there. It honestly just feels like a weird remnant of an earlier draft of the script or reshoots, but even if that's so, that doesn't change the fact that it is in the movie. When most of us think of the idea of bodily consent, we usually think about it for women and women's right to control their bodies, as society starts to understand that women's autonomy is often infringed upon. But the ability to control one's body regardless of... So that doesn't change the fact that it is in the movie. When most of us think of the idea of bodily consent, we usually think about it for women and women's right to control their bodies, as society starts to understand that women's autonomy is often infringed upon. But the ability to control one's body, regardless of not only gender, but race, sexuality, and anything else about you, is a core principle surrounding pretty much any political discourse, especially within feminist conversations. We all have the right to say what we...
Is consent really a fucking political point? It's not. Like, at all. Don't force people to fuck you. That's not political. And that shouldn't only be a part of a feminist conversation. Don't force people to fuck you. Period.
We do with our own bodies, and that's a fight that we've been fighting since, the dawn of time. So it actively bothers me that in a movie that sold itself as being feminist, that we don't even think about the bodily autonomy of this random guy. And it's really...
Did it sell itself as being feminist though? I mean, it did say the villain was based on Trump or some shit, but that's all I remember.
Really gross. And when it comes to the implied sex, there could be arguments made that it could be read as a rape, even if the film doesn't seem to think so. Even if you...
It's definitely rape. It's definitely fucking rape. It could be read as rape, okay. It's not read that way, it is. It's exactly what it is. It's exactly what the fuck it is.
aren't aware your body was abused, it's still abuse. And I'm not saying that that's what the film is saying or what the filmmakers wanted to say or that was the intention of the scene, but the fact that that reading is possible in this film is the issue, especially because it comes around a man. Often men being raped or losing bodily autonomy in media is played as a laugh, something to snigger at. So much so that even Star Trek did it.
This engineer wanted you to see her planet.
So?
Perhaps the next step would have been to meet her holographic parents. If I'm not mistaken, on some planets, that's a precursor to marriage.
I see you laughing there, Captain Archer. It is most definitely not cool. And this recurring trope within media that we should find men being harassed or raped humorous can be incredibly emotionally damaging and influence how we view real-life sexual assault and harassment of men. Again, I don't think the film is laughing at this man's loss of autonomy like, Captain Archer was, but neither is it acknowledging it in any meaningful way. It's an unforced error by the film in so many ways, an issue that the film brings up but doesn't seem to have any desire to actually think about. And this inability to actually wrestle with its own implications is a continued kneecap issue with Wonder Woman, as we were going to see.
And are you gonna blame the female writer and director for that? No, you're not.
Because we ultimately learn that the monkey's paw trade-off for Diana's wish is not that Steve is in this guy's body, but that she is slowly losing her powers. And that to beat the bad guys at the end of the film, she needs to renounce her wish and let Steve die. Now, to a degree, I do like this plot beat. It leads to some of the strongest points in the film. My favorite scene in the whole movie from a character perspective comes when Diana breaks down and says that she has sacrificed everything and asked for nothing in return and just desperately wants to have Steve back.
I thought you said this was a bad thing. The fuck? I thought you said her wanting him back was a bad thing. This is my favorite scene. Let's keep going. Maybe she's got a fucking point here.
I give everything I
Maybe she doesn't contradict herself. I'm hoping she doesn't.
have every day, and I'm happy to. But this one thing, you're all that I've wanted.
Okay. Okay, we're back again. Roy Margery says, "Oh, that Dogecoin is clogging up the internet." Okay, we're back on it. Anyway, let's get back to this shit.
And asked to selflessly give of themselves without any needs of their own.
That's just superheroes in general, sweetheart. That's superheroes in general. If you got power, if you have like the resources to fucking help people and go above and beyond, way above and beyond, then any human being, yeah, you're obligated. You're kind of obligated to do something. Now, like, you could choose not to, but like, it'd be nice if you fucking did. It's now because she's a woman. Like, why are you bringing, like, you're gendering it. You're fucking gendering shit that doesn't need to be gendered.
Now, this place in society isn't exclusively a feeling for women. Men,
Then why the fuck are you even bringing it
and
up?
anyone else can love being a selfless caregiver, but it's a role often forced upon women, whether
It's not forced on Diana because she's a woman. It's forced on her because she's a fucking superhero. And it's not even really forced on her. She could choose to not help people. But she's got like a hero spirit. So yeah, she does it anyway. But no one's forcing her to do that shit. Who's forcing her to do anything? Like, I understand her wanting something in return for all the fucking, like, I just want this one goddamn thing. I want to fucking rest, a break. I get it. But this shit is not being forced on her.
whether they want it or not. So it becomes hard for any women, especially those who are told that they need to selflessly care for others at expense for themselves, to ask for anything.
She's not forced to do anything. Talking out of your ass. Like, this is not something that is forced on this character, and you damn well know it.
In their life for themselves. So for Diana to admit that she wants something, that she wants Steve, that she just wants to have this person for herself, this one positive thing in her life, is a strong idea for the film to bring up.
just fucking said that her life, that her wanting him in her life was a bad thing. And now it's a good thing because it supports some supports some subversion of some other feminist bullshit. Like, what the fuck? Makes sense, goddammit! Makes sense!
Why, for once, can't I just have this one thing, Steve? This one thing.
But this concept, this idea.
Like, oh my own god, this is fucking... this is aggravating. Because first she said her wanting him back in her life and her life revolving around him was wrong. Now it's right because, well, feminist theory says that women are forced into caregiver roles. So they need a break, you know what I'm saying? So, her life revolving around Chris Pine is suddenly now a good thing. You don't see how you contradict yourself. I mean,
idea is undone by the film itself. Firstly, again, the thing that Diana wants is a relationship. A relationship she could have easily had an ample opportunity to make at any point in the last 70 years with...
Do you, like, y'all remember what I said about Chris Pine and the circumstances of their fucking relationship? She's immortal. First man she ever met. Sacrificed his life. Like, they went through a fucking war together. The best, she already had like a shaky relationship with humankind. She was already kind of like, okay, y'all kind of ain't shit, but like, I guess y'all cool, I don't know. And she's been subjected to like the worst that mankind has to offer. And Steve Trevor was one of like the best of mankind had to offer. So him being gone, she's like, and she's already secluded, she's already like depressed or like shut off because of this death. She's not gonna, like, if that's the best I'm gonna get, I'm not getting I'm not shit. I'm not gonna get anything else. I'm not even gonna try. Like she's secluded at this point in her life. What the fuck? She said this in Justice League, or like, was it Batman vs. whichever movie that was before this. She said she was fucking secluded at this point in her life. She wasn't looking for no man because she was still hung up on that other one. I mean, her she was willing to be alone and by herself and without Trevor until that, like I said, that wishing stone came into play. And she was like, yeah, why not? You know, like, I don't know if she thought it was real at that point, the power. I don't think she did. I think as a lark, she was like, oh, I wish Steve was back, because I miss him. And like I said, time works differently for immortal people. 70 years ain't shit to them. Like, there's nothing urgent in her life. There's nothing that like that said that makes her life urgent. Not age, sickness, death, none of that. So she's gonna be hung up on it more than any other person would be. And like I said, like knowing that, like what Steve Trevor is all about, knowing how awesome he was and how selfless he was and how amazing he was, I understand why she's hung up on him and didn't. Like, it took her a while to let him go. Well, like, you could have gotten any other man, girl. Like, that's not the fucking point. It's not that she's so amazing that she can get any man. Is that he's so amazing she don't want no other man. You get it? You fucking get it? Shit! She wants a man to match her. And Steve Trevor matches her. You realize she didn't have a fucking boyfriend until Bruce Wayne, because guess what? That nigga matches her. Yeah, like it's Steve Trevor and Batman. Steve Trevor, Batman. Like, she picks top shelf niggas. Top shelf niggas. It got nothing to do with her worth. It's got something to do with the man's worth. She chooses the top picks because she is already the top pick. You feel me? But people don't want to see that. People just want to say, well, she's just hung up on this guy because she just sucks now, or she's just a sucky female stereotype. No, bitch. Save that shit for like Bella Swan. Don't say that shit for this girl, for this character, because that's not what it is. And like I said, gendering it is pointless because it's about bringing someone you love back. She loved him. She missed him. She wanted him back. The general idea behind it is like, oh, I miss this person. I love them and they're dead and I want them back. Period. It was, like I said, this was 2 women, or if her mom died and she wanted her back, y'all, nobody be saying shit. Nobody be saying a fucking thing.
Anyone else. But more importantly, the film frames that Diana should be completely and utterly selfless. That she should give up her one desire in order to care for others. And for sure, balancing meaningful personal relationships and being selfless is a common theme of the superhero genre. See films like Spider-Man 2, for example. In that film, the ultimate theme for Spider-Man was that he—
Oh, Lord. Justin Foster, $10 super chat. For context on the Star Trek thing, the commander came into contact with an alien species that impregnate their mates with eggs through bodily contact, but no unconsensual sex. Yeah, like I said, the Star Trek shit, like, because there had to be more context, like, the context, I think, was gone, because I just wasn't, yeah, I don't know, I think I needed more context for that clip, because I was thinking, okay, I think that's a little thin, I think you need a little more with that, but I just wrote off that scene, I just wrote off that part of the review.
For others. And for sure, balancing meaningful personal relationships and being selfless is a common theme of the superhero genre. See films like Spider-Man 2, for example. In that film, the ultimate theme for Spider-Man was that he should take time for himself. Peter learns that he can't be Spider-Man all the time. It's hard, but Peter can be Spider-Man, but it's also just as important for him to have a relationship with other people, specifically Mary Jane. Humans should give of ourselves, but we need to make sure that we recharge and build ourselves up in order to have something to give in the first place.
Yep, and Wonder Woman is barred from doing that because she likes the
Spider-Man 3, for all that film's faults, does showcase the other side of this scale. That if you become too selfish and decide you want to do dance montages in the streets, you can lose everything. Again, there is a balance. But in Wonder Woman 1984, Diana is asked to give up Steve, and she does. In fact, the film shames her for wanting anything at all for herself. Remember—
What? That's what you did, you motherfucker! No! That's not what the fuck? That is not what this movie does. It shames anybody for cheating, like for wanting too much. Like I said, you cannot have it all. You can only have the truth. And the truth is, hey, look, your man's dead. He ain't coming back. Get over it. That's the truth. I can't believe I gotta defend this fucking movie. I hate this. I hate it. Stop making me defend this piece of shit. FR Jens, $5 super chat. Highlander did this better. Connor was hung up on his first wife for almost 100 years. Damn it, I forgot all about that fucking movie. And it's one of my favorite movies. I can't believe I forgot about it. For almost 100 years, and even still lights a church candle for her birthday and present day. Exactly. Because that's because that was done a little bit better, because we saw their life. Like he was like Connor McLeod was immortal, and he stayed with his wife for as long as she was alive. Like she got old, he stayed with her even when she was old and crusty, and then she died. Now with with the Steve Trevor thing, he just died. He just he blew up in a plane. So yeah, it's kind of different circumstances, but yeah, Highlander did do it better because it wasn't the central plot. Because it wasn't really part of. Okay, I think we're back. Oh, I think we're back. Are we back? Shits. Oh, shit. Excuse me. Okay, we're back. Okay. But yeah, as I was saying, Chris Pine should not been a part of the central plot. Like the wishing stone thing. I think the thing is that Diana should have always resisted the wishing stone. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna wish for him back. Like she almost kind of wishes, but she gets distracted from it. But she sees what these wishes does to everyone else. And by the end of the movie, it's good for her to be reckless and imperfect so she can learn from shit by the end of the film. But I think that she shouldn't have been one of the people to wish for shit. Or just give her more character. Or have her mother die and have her bring her back. But then again, no, that's too much. Now, you know what? Stick with what I said before. She shouldn't have had to wish for anything. Don't wish for nothing. And instead have just the cheetah chick wish for something. I think Diana should already have like an understanding. Like, look, I can't have him back, but I still love him. I still pine for him. But like, that's the way it is. Like, people die, and this is the way it is. Don't make Chris Pine a part of the central plot because, especially if you're not going to do anything else with the movie, if you're not going to like really make the character deeper, if you're not going to advance the character, like, just don't bring him back, because that's the way it's going to look to other people, even though it didn't look like that to me. But whatever. There's a way you could have done, like, there's a way they could have done it without bringing back Chris Pine, but I guess they just needed to bring him back.
Remember that theme of cheating that was brought up in the opening of the film? Diana wanting Steve is framed as cheating.
Yes! That's called cheating death! Yeah, and she took a motherfucker's body to do it! Yeah! That's a hell of a lot of cheating! That's really bad! Yes! This character is imperfect, and they gave her a way to look imperfect. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with your main character doing something stupid. As long as they learn from it and then move on. Damn! Dante Inferno, $5 super chat. In my opinion, Wonder Woman 84 was a distraction at best and harmless at worst. I really don't understand the boiling hate. I don't think it's really boiling hate. I think people just like, oh, it just sucks. It really sucks.
It feels as if the film was trying to critically critique and tie this idea to Diana's isolation at the top of the film, that in order for Diana to be healthy, she should actually put in the work to build healthy relationships.
Yes! Yes!
You're the only joy I've had or even asked for.
I am so sorry. But that's crazy.
But that idea is also undone by her lack of any meaningful positive relationships anywhere else in the film outside.
She was kind of friendly with Cheetah. They did kind of get on, you know what I'm saying?
I've already pointed out the film's problems with how it's framed handsome man.
In fact, the one relationship that Diana does try to form on her own is shown to be shallow and horribly toxic. And here's where we get to the Cheetah of it all.
Yeah, it's toxic, but it's not because of Diana, it's because of her. It's because of the cheetah bitch projecting herself on her. Why are you making this a gender thing? Why?
Cheetah. Don't know why I did that. Thought it would be funny? You tell me. Diana reaches out to one of her coworkers, Kristen Wiig, and they actually go out for a wonderful brunch that doesn't revolve around staring longingly at planes. But instead of this being a chance for Diana to actually grow a relationship for once, it's instead played as a scene where Cheetah just becomes jealous of Diana.
You just seem like you'd be really popular. And I would know because I've never been popular.
There's no meaningful connection between the two of them, it's just there to set up Cheetah's jealousy arc later on. And more on that in a little bit. But at the end of the movie, when Diana...
Actually, she wasn't jealous yet. It was more like, I don't want to say envy either, but like, yeah, well, not envy. Envy wasn't really jealousy. She didn't get jealous until she actually started wishing to be more like Diana and all that, because there's the monkey paw thing with The Rock, like it takes as much as it gives, blah, 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 blah. And she was losing her sweetness, her humanity, because she was gaining all these powers, and she was losing herself because she found more worth in powers than in her own personality and her own personality and her goodness. Hello? Did we watch this? Did you watch this fucking movie? And like, I hate defending this shit because I don't like this movie.
Begged Cheetah to renounce her wish because she was a good person. That whole idea rings as hollow. Like, what do you know about Cheetah, Diana? And this attempt to reach out?
Well, she knew that she was nice when they first met. And then after she started getting her powers, she wasn't. It's like a fucking genius to figure out what the hell is going on.
Her ends up failing, and Cheetah just keeps on fighting Diana because, yeah, why wouldn't she? Diana doesn't know her or care about her and has never formed a meaningful relationship with her.
Oh, wow. It seems like you're really sympathizing with this evil bitch who's jealous of a naturally beautiful woman. Oh, you know what? Let me move on. I'm not going to finish that thought.
So in the end, Diana is shamed.
I'm not going to finish that shit.
For wanting to have a relationship.
I was going to make a fucked up joke, and I'm going to move on. We're just going to move on. We're just gonna move
with
on.
Steve Trevor because it's cheating, but when the film actually has a chance to show us a healthy way for her to build relationships as an alternative, it's actually shown as more toxic and shallow than her relationship with Steve ever was. Her relationship with Steve is actually shown to be warm, affirming, and productive. In fact, the film seems to reinforce how wholesome and positive Diana's relationship with Steve actually is, because it's through her connection with Steve that she learns how to fly. The film has this weird message where it's saying that her relationship with Steve is somehow cheating, and yet it also is what gives her her own sense of power. And the relationship she does try to form organically with Cheetah is awful. This storyline could have been...
Is it? See, the thing is, like, oh, they have some nice interactions, and then, like, Cheetah, like, they're separated throughout the rest of the movie because Diana's off trying to, like, solve the fucking stone bullshit. So they're like, this is why this movie is shit, because they don't interact for most of the fucking movie until the fight scene in the fucking White House. That's why it doesn't seem like their relationship has grown, because it doesn't. Like I said, Patty Jenkins is more focused on themes and action and shit like that. She's more focused on that. She's not a very good writer, guys. She's not. She doesn't know how to write this shit. The fucking not the tone, but like the movie's all over the place. It's got 2 fucking openings, for Christ's sake. It's not paced well. It's not a movie that's paced well. So of course their relationship doesn't seem organic. It doesn't seem that nice, because for a minute they get on really nicely. They have a nice little chat. She saves her life. Then Cheetah makes the fucking wish, and then they're not really in the same scenes anymore, because, like I said, the pacing is shit, and Patty Jenkins can't write.
Something powerful, intelligently combining the idea that women often don't get the chance to have things for themselves, are told not to take anything for themselves, but that we also have to put in the work to have those meaningful relationships in our life. But ultimately, film just makes it a muddled mess. And also, the flying looks really weird. Did anyone else feel that her flying just looked strange? Speaking of...
It also comes out of nowhere and is completely nonsensical.
Weird choices too. While I actually loved the acting in the moment where Diana renounces her wish to Steve, the filmmakers still managed to make that scene weird by having Steve's voice be creepily loud from behind the pillar.
I'll always love you, Diana, no matter where I am.
It's oddly, like, creepy and unnerving.
Why is it creepy? Is everything with a male creepy to you?
Speaking of weird choices, though, let's talk about Maxwell Lord and the magic wishing rock. First off, Pedro Pascal is clearly having the time of his life in this role, and I am so here for it.
I'm a forgiving man!
And Maxwell Lord is one of the stronger aspects of the film. A failed television con man who promises people grand wishes that come with sinister trade-offs that people don't realize when they accept the wish, that just create violence and chaos around the entire United States and the world. Nope, I can sense no hidden meanings there. Yes, clearly I enjoyed the fact that he...
Wait, what?
And Maxwell Lord is one of the stronger aspects of the film. A failed television con man who promises people grand wishes that come with sinister trade-offs that people don't realize when they accept the wish, that just create violence and chaos around the entire United States and the world. Nope, I can sense no hidden meanings there. Yes. Clearly, I enjoyed the fact that he is meant to evoke Donald Trump. But
of course you do. But, like, name one thing that caused... Name one thing... Name one, like, action or one thing that Donald Trump has said that caused violence and disarray across the world. I love that this evokes Donald Trump. Like I said, the motherfuckers live. That's one of the things that really was going to turn me off to this movie. As soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, this is going to be shit. And guess what? It was. Because every time y'all put even a drop of fucking... Oh, never mind. We're back. I thought we went out for a second. Anyway. Someone in chat said that Trump is living in their heads rent-free. I'm like, yeah, every single goddamn time. And this character being centered around Trump doesn't even make any fucking sense when you really think about it. I mean, the character himself is literally Latino, so I don't even know what the fuck was the point of that. And he's been through a lot of shit. Well, they shoehorn that shit in at the end. He's been through a lot, and he's just struggled and all that. But, like, that doesn't... How does that tie in with Donald Trump? Like, really?
But what I also enjoy is that he's not a one-to-one parallel. He's not saying, let's make DC movies great again. It allows him to stand for much more symbolic.
Okay, I think we're back again. I think we're back. We're in the green. I started it back up. Oh, God. What the fuck? I think we're back finally, though. If you guys can see me, let me know. Okay. Alright, let's get back to this shit. Basically, we're on the rump allegory in the Wonder Woman film. Let's see. Let's see what she has to say about that.
Internalize the belief that being a strong man means being a winner, and it is what blinds him from having a meaningful relationship to his son. This idea continues the relationship theme of the rest of the film, and it's a great criticism of toxic.
Oh God, wait a minute.
Continues the relationship theme of the rest of the film, and it's a great criticism of toxic masculinity. Oh.
No, it isn't. It's not gendered, you asshole. This is not gendered. Why are you gendering this? Oh my God, shut up. It's a good, see, that's what happens when you become all about gender and feminism and shit. You see it everywhere. You see it fucking everywhere. Now, the Trump thing, the only reason why I see the Trump thing is because I was told that was what his character was that was an allegory for his fucking character. That's why I see that shit. But no one told you to think this shit. This is all you on your own.
Oh, I said it. I said toxic masculinity. Everyone make sure to fill out that space on your SJW bingo card. But
yeah, like, I hate those fucking jokes. See, I'm an SJW. Yeah, you are. It's nothing to be proud of. Absolutely nothing to be proud of. See, I'm an SJW. Yeah, exactly. You 100% are. And that's what's holding back this review.
Truly, this plot between Lord and his son does show how the need to constantly be tough closes you off from actually...
No. Why was that always had to be tough? He wasn't tough in this movie. Maxwell Lord was kind of like a squirmy little, like a squirmy little, what do you call it? A little weasel. He was a fucking weasel in this. He's actually the exact opposite of tough. And he doesn't really project, even when he's the optimistic, life is good, but it can be better. When he's that guy, he doesn't come off as like, oh, tough guy. That's not how he comes off, like, ever.
Connecting with others, that you don't allow yourself to show your emotions or who you are to even those close.
That's because he's hyper focused on success. That's not a man thing. That is not a fucking man thing. Because he doesn't want to be perceived as a loser. Because he has been treated like one his whole life. That is not gendered. For fuck's sake.
To you because you need to be seen as successful, a true man. And in this pursuit of being tough, Maxwell Lord actually wishes to be the wishing rock. And again, this is a great development. It's one of those oddball campy choices that actually feels earned and intentional because it matches Lord's characterization and the theme.
I can't get over that. When he's nutting in his chair when he becomes the wishing stone.
Of the selflessness and selfishness of the rest of the film. Maxwell gives you what you want, but takes what actually matters to you in that pursuit. Not only that, Maxwell constantly granting wishes takes a physical toll.
It's almost like you completely misread that for Cheetah and didn't understand the reason why the relationship ended up being toxic is because she ended up being a toxic personality. But whatever.
As well as also distancing himself from being a healthy father. Again, giving too much of yourself without actually building healthy relationships comes into play as a theme in Maxwell Lord's story and works much better than it does in Diana's. Yet despite this being one of the film's strong aspects, even this theme gets muddled. The film doesn't seem to be completely sure what it has to say about the characterization of Maxwell. In the film's climax, we are shown a montage of sequences displaying that Maxwell used to be poor and trying to characterize him as someone that we should have empathy for, and it's also why he has desire to become rich. Now, greed needs no motivating factor. We didn't need to see this backstory to understand that Maxwell Lord was greedy. And it also entirely kills the momentum of the climax, as it's completely tangential to how the film is actually trying to redeem Maxwell at the end, through his son. And as my friend and fellow YouTuber Council of Geeks pointed out, there's actually something more sinister here. Because the fact that Max used to be poor and is failing at being rich weirdly implies that it's not rich people who take advantage of lower class people's desires.
Oh no, no, no! Don't go there.
For their own ends and cause chaos, but it's actually poor people who just don't know how to be rich.
What the fuck are you doing? You know that, oh dear God. Do you know that expression? Money is the root of all evil? That's not. The more accurate, I mean, I got this from another movie, but like, bear with me here. But no, the more accurate way of seeing that is like, the want of money is the root of all evil. The hapless pursuit of money. Seeking it no matter how much it destroys you or anyone around you. That's the problem. But just rich people. It's just fucking rich people that are evil. Just having money makes you evil. Not the pursuit. Not that Maxwell is so traumatized by poverty that he does anything and anything he can to go back there. It's not that. Poor people can't be evil. Poor people can't misunderstand wealth and success and take it through a darkness. No, that's only rich people. What kind of shit? Let me rewind that. That was classic.
Through his son. And as my friend and fellow YouTuber Council of Geeks pointed out, there's actually something more sinister here. Because the fact that Max used to be poor and is failing at being rich weirdly implies that it's not rich people who take advantage of lower class people's desires for their own ends and cause chaos, but it's actually poor people who just don't know how to be rich. To which I
No, a greedy person. Greedy. And anybody can be greedy. Because people being rich by itself, that's not a bad thing. Wealthy people by themselves are not bad people. Being rich is not a qualifier being rich is not the only indication of evil. And that's y'all fucking problem. It's the same shit. That's why I'm not gonna say it, because I have a feeling that my internet's magically gonna go out again. So I'm gonna reserve what I was just gonna say. But yeah, like, the pursuit of wealth is what determines, like, how you pursue wealth and success is how you determine someone's morality. Not just having money. That's not how that fucking works. That's why when people like shit on rich people like for no reason, that just makes me roll my fucking eyes. Y'all got, like, some people have no fucking perception of what makes good or bad people. Like, well, we've been told by, like, we've been told by after school specials that rich people are just evil. Like that same mentality you got watching, like I said, watching some after school special where some rich guy turns a playground into like an oil refinery. You got your fucking mentality from that, and you haven't gotten rid of it since you were 10. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, being rich by itself, not a bad thing. Being rich, greedy, opportunistic, sociopathic, that's bad. And to think that, poor people, they can't be that. What the fuck? Wow. Oh God, that is like the most sheltered thing you could possibly fucking say. That's so sheltered. Oh, you do not understand. Do you know people? Do you have friends? Jesus. No. Better question. Do you have friends that have different backgrounds besides just I live in the suburbs and I hate Trump, therefore I am better than everyone else and know more than everyone else? Jesus Christ, expand your fucking horizons.
I say, no. No. I'm not going to get into one of my leftist let's eat the rich rants, but yeah.
Oh, she's got the communist song playing in the fucking background.
That is not how that works. And I don't think that was the intention of the writers to imply that.
You're right, it fucking wasn't. That's you're reading into that. It's your intention. Fuck you.
I think they just wanted to humanize
Jesus.
Maxwell, but it was just unnecessary, especially in the climax, and comes with those unfortunate implications. I don't mind him being redeemed, by the way, at all, especially since he's not a one-to-one parallel for Trump, which makes it easier for me to take him as a fictional character being redeemed, instead of a film asking us to forgive a real-life man who has done real-life harm, something that the film has not earned the right to ask of us. Instead, I enjoy that Lord's arc completes when he realizes that he doesn't need to be successful or tough in order to be a good father.
He's never tough in this movie. Like, not ever. He doesn't ever project a moment of menace. Like, ever. Ever. What the fuck you talking about?
To his son.
In fact, I'm a pretty messed up loser guy.
However, swinging back to the bad though, it is still a hard pill to swallow that he faces zero repercussions for the damages he caused. I mean, the Secret Service literally flies him to find his son in a field somewhere at the end of the movie. So he still has Secret Service protection despite everything that he has done. Isn't the point of a superhero film that we can actually hold villains like this accountable? I would even be fine if the film tried to show Wonder Woman trying to hold Lord accountable, but failing, mirroring how rich folks get away with doing large-scale harm even in the real world. But again, the film just ignores this altogether.
But he's not rich. How can you hold someone accountable for something if they're poor? That's just wrong, and he's Latino, so you know he really can't be held accountable for anything by this person's logic. Phantom of the Night, $4.99 super chat. In the original comics, Cheetah was basically an evil Lara Croft who murdered people to get their powers. Sucks we couldn't get her for the movie. Yeah, that sounds way more interesting. Jesus. Little Whittle Rabbits, $2.99 super chat. Are you going to review that trash Craft 2020? Yeah, I still got to work on that. Like I said, Batwoman is kicking my ass right now. Like, I've got to find someone who can edit this shit and put it out every week, you know, Batwoman episodes. That way I can just focus straight on my craft review. I need to find somebody who's really good, whose editing is up to my standards, and will take whatever I can give them, like whatever I can afford to give them for each video. Ugh.
Wonder Woman just lets him be redeemed and fly away and doesn't seem to care about following up on that. Consistently, the film fails to follow through, partially because it's unsure what it wants to say, and partially because it doesn't want to say anything too harshly. Which brings us to the even bigger issue. Let's talk about some of the wishes that are portrayed in the film. At the end of the movie, when Maxwell Lord is granting a ton of wishes all around the world, one of the wishes that we are shown is this one.
I wish all you Irish bastards would get sent back to where you...
What she got to say about this? This is gonna be some shit. Yes, sweetheart. There's a big... People have like... Oh, this shows how fucking sheltered this person is. You are so American. It's sad. Like, no offense, but you American as fuck. Like, yeah, Irish people have a really bad run of it from where in Europe. Like, yeah, they're basically the black people of Europe. You didn't know that? And, like, you not knowing that is not the movie's fault. That's just you. You're an idiot.
On the world, one of the wishes that we are shown is this one.
I wish all you Irish bastards would get sent back to where you came from.
What the Like, I get it, the world is descending into anarchy and they're trying to show us an escalation of the chaosness of the wishes. But why do that by showing us a wish that highlights very real prejudice and evokes imagery of people being rounded up and beaten by police? Something all too sensitive even before the hellscape that's been 2020. This is made even worse when the wishes surrounding this one are shown to be kind of cartoonish. The one before it was a woman wishing to be famous.
They're cartoonish because they're... Remember when, like, you forget what fucking movie you're watching? You just said it was campy and it's campy and it's camp and blah, 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 and then complain how it's not realistic.
Famous, and then the one after is this over-the-top 1980s campy vibe of a billion nuclear missiles going.
Yes, because it's fucking set in the 80s. And you were just celebrating it for how campy it was. Like, stop it. Keep track of your fucking gripes. Like, yeah, it's campy because that's the way the movie was written. Don't celebrate it for how campy it is, then turn around and say, well, it's not realistic.
Going off. It makes the glib choice to show prejudice against the Irish as equally cartoonish as those two things, which it is not. Irish people, especially in America...
Oh, okay, thank God. Okay, I'm retracting my criticism. I seriously thought she'd be like, oh, you're showing white people being discriminated against and not black people? Are you insane? I thought she was going to go there. But she fully acknowledges Irish people have a bad run of it in Europe. Thank God. Whoo, thank you, Jesus. I thought this motherfucker was rock stupid.
America have also had a history of being racially discriminated against. It reads like the film trying to have one of those dark and gritty moments from Snyder's Batman v Superman without actually understanding how terrifying this actually is for some people. And I'm not against superhero films tackling this type of subject matter. In fact, I think more superhero movies should tackle stuff like this. The X-Men films, for example, use the horrors of the Holocaust to highlight the overall film's ideas of genocide and prejudice. But those scenes set in the Holocaust are given appropriate weight and time by the film.
I'm sorry, but a guy knocking over oranges, how terrifying do we want to get there here? Like, is he supposed to take one of the oranges, like, squeeze it up against the Arab woman's eye and be like, yeah, I'm making juice, bitch. Like, what do you want him to do? He's just knocking over oranges. He's just basically yelling at the bitch. And I bet you, like, and I'm betting money that was a Josh Whedon scene and that had nothing to do with Zack Snyder. Just saying. That's my assumption because that's more of a Whedon thing than it is a Zack Snyder thing. Putting just blatant bullshit like that in there.
1984, in contrast, instead uses the prejudice and discrimination of people flippantly. It also just ruins the campy vibe that the film was trying to set up. I mean, after I saw this scene, I couldn't help but thinking, okay, so you're telling me that no KKK bigot or racist person wished something truly horrific while Lord was granting all those wishes? I just couldn't get over that fact that was probably happening somewhere in this world. And
yeah, you were gonna think that anyway because that's just how you are. You're just some KKK person is wishing something horrible on all black people. Yeah. And in my opinion, this movie shouldn't have been this campy because I want to see some darker stuff. Because if the world's in utter disarray because of people making crazy ass wishes, then yeah, some bad people somewhere are going to also be making crazy ass wishes. That's why I think the movie shouldn't have been this campy. It should have been a little more grounded. But whatever.
by the way, we are shown at the end of the film that everyone still has their memories of the chaos of that day. It wasn't wiped from their mind. So apparently all the Irish folks still have memories that the entire country that they lived in just started rounding them up and deporting them without due process, even if it only lasted an hour or so. Speaking of which, that's not the only wish that evokes racist stereotypes, segregation, and cultural genocide in the movie. The film's second act takes us to Cairo, Egypt, when Maxwell Lord goes to visit the new king of crude, Emir Saad bin Abdidos. Apologies if I am mispronouncing that, I am not good with name pronunciations. But how is Emir portrayed in the film? I mean, he literally looks like a stereotypical Orientalist painting from the 1500s, and
what the f-
I'm not from that cultural background, so I'm not here to get offended for anybody.
You just said, you just did. You just did. Too late, because you just did.
But from what I've read, many folks of Egyptian descent found this depiction incredibly problematic.
Wait, Middle Eastern stereotypes should have stayed in the 1980s. Well, the movie is set in the 1980s, so I don't know what the fuck you're asking. Reviving leg warmers is one thing. Bringing back noxious ethnic caricatures is another. I don't know if you know this, but like, you know people like that in those circles who are rich and in oil dress like that, right? That's not exactly... Hold on. Egyptian oil tycoons. Oh, you know what? I'm probably going to fuck it up. No, wait. Egyptian... Fuck. Middle Eastern, damn it! I'm so bad at this. Middle Eastern oil tycoons. Okay. Damn it. There we go. That's better. Because putting Egyptian in there is like, it's not. But yeah, some people in those circles fucking dress like that. You're just gonna have to deal with that. That's a stereotype, but some of them dress like that though. What the fuck do you want me to do? That stereotype should stay in the 80s. Well, the movie is set in the fucking 80s. I don't understand what you want from them.
And it's made even worse by the fact that the wish Amir gives to Maxwell Lord is, well, this.
All of my land to be returned. My ancestral realm, the Bialian dynasty.
And I love how she's basically saying this dude who just looks like that. He's not wearing prosthetics or anything. The way he looks is just stereotypical, which is kind of shitty to say.
And for all the heathens who dare trod upon it, to be kept out forever, so that its glory may be renewed.
So the guy is basically trying to do a cultural genocide, or segregation at the very least, by throwing Arabs of a certain descent out of his country. And we are shown this as a giant magical border wall. Okay. So I get it. The film is trying to say, big racist wall. Look, it's like Trump. But that's about all it says. But placing this oversimplified viewpoint within the Middle Eastern context ignores that it's not a one-to-one parallel between what's happening at the Mexican border in the United States and the intricacies of Middle Eastern prejudice and violence. And it's also made even more awkward given the controversy surrounding Gal Gadot, who was a member of the Israeli military and has spoken publicly about her support for the continued use of violence in the Middle East. Not to mentioning the boycott of the first Wonder Woman film by many countries throughout the Middle East, presumably because of Gadot. Ignores that it's not a one-to-one parallel, as a giant magical border wall. Okay. So I get it. The film is trying to say, big racist wall. Look, it's like Trump. But that's about all it says. But placing this oversimplified viewpoint within the Middle Eastern context ignores that it's not a one-to-one parallel between what's happening at the Mexican border in the United States.
In other words, do not show brown people discriminating against other brown people, or it'll give me a tizzy.
And the intricacies of Middle Eastern prejudice.
Like, it doesn't matter what context it's in. Like, this person is clearly just xenophobic, and he's like power mad. He wants his people to be separated from these other people because he's xenophobic. Like, that's just, why does it have to be deeper than that? This isn't, like, you can't compare the two. Yeah, because it's brown people go up against, brown people versus brown people. That's the problem you got with it. It's not America. See, if it was America, which is mostly white, against Mexicans, that would be okay with this person. That would be totally okay.
And violence. And it's also made even more awkward given the controversy surrounding Gal Gadot, who was a member of the Israeli military and has spoken publicly about her support for the continued use of violence in the Middle East. Not to mentioning the boycott of the first Wonder Woman film by many countries throughout the Middle East, presumably because of Gadot's Israeli support, but also could be seen as simply an anti-Semitic reaction to her background as a Jewish woman. Again, as someone who does not know a ton about Middle Eastern politics, I am not the person to be jumping into these issues.
Then shut the fuck up! Then shut the fuck up! Like, I wouldn't be pointing this shit out if I didn't know shit about Middle East. Oh, I was like, oh, I'm not well versed on Middle Eastern politics. So you know what? Shut the fuck up. Shut up. That's the problem. Like I said, that's the problem people have with SJWs. They do a lot of talking, thinking they know every damn thing, and they don't know anything, and they end up looking stupid. But instead of admitting that I'm an idiot, they kind of just keep talking and yap. I'm not an authority on this issue. But, like, oh, shut up. Then shut the fuck up.
And I'm not necessarily here to moralize or say I'm...
You've done a great job of that so far. And the title of your fucking video is Wonder Woman 1984 is a moral failure. Oh, I'm not here to moralize, though. Don't want to moralize at all. Nope. Okay, I'm just checking my internet connection, making sure everything's fine, because my connection was in the red for a second. Damn it. Alright, okay, I think we're good. Anyway. I'm not an expert on this, and shut up! Jesus! Oh, John Doe said, I'm out of my depth, said the drowning woman. No, that's a good one. That's a good one.
For or against specific Middle Eastern policies or governments. But that's also kind of my point. The film isn't interested in doing any of that either.
Why do we need to know why this motherfucker wants to put a wall up between himself and people he sees as inferior? It's simple. He's a fucking xenophobe. He doesn't like certain people, so he wants to put a fucking wall up. If this was a white American person say he wants to put a wall between him and black people, like this was some xenophobic white dude, would we even be having this discussion? No. You'd understand and you shut the fuck up. You completely like get it, like, oh, yes, that's life right there. That's life right there, yo. But it's brown people versus brown people, so we need more context. Like, what did these brown people do to this brown person?
You don't get to use racist stereotypes and evoke real-world...
It's not a racist stereotype. We will find, like, a lot of, like, oil billionaires in the Middle East dressed like that.
Violence and genocide to make a shallow statement as racism and border walls and Trump are bad. If you don't have the desire to actually talk about the cultures that you're evoking in your film, and indeed
you're just mad because it's brown people discriminating against other brown people. Let's be real. I don't want to get in. And plus, didn't you? No, forget it. But like, yeah, it's brown people. That's why you're pissed off at that. It's brown people.
Use offensive shorthands in order to display that culture, especially when you know your film is already a hot button issue in those exact places, then you should.
Those places also don't like it when we have too many Negroes in one movie. I could give a fuck about what they got to say. Like how China, you know how Finn was like, basically his character was reduced and his presence on posters and promotional material was reduced because China don't like Negroes. I don't give a shit. Well, people in the Middle East, such a stable place, they have a real problem with the way us Americans handle shit. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. It's Wonder Woman. Who cares? I really don't care.
Not.
They probably don't like Wonder Woman as a fucking concept any goddamn way.
Bring up those issues. Both the Middle Eastern and Irish wishes in this film just feel like
stop simping for the Middle East because they would not like you over there. Just saying.
The movie's feeble attempts at gesturing towards actual issues going on today, but it never actually wants to meaningfully engage with them in any critical way. When we have superhero content today like The Boys, which addresses how American imperialism and values have affected the Middle East, or things like Black Panther or the recent HBO
Black Panther? Oh, you're naming like the most bullshittiest shit. Because The Boys season 2 was garbage. Watchmen was garbage, and Black Panther wasn't that good either.
Watchmen series dealing with issues of racial strife.
Yeah, as long as it's white people versus a brown person, that's your fucking problem. That a brown person could dare to be xenophobic against their own people, even though it happens all the fucking time. Because you have a very U.S.-centric fucking viewpoint of the world. But brown people hating other brown people? That's impossible. I need to know, okay, how brown are the other people? Like, we need to get in depth with this.
This kind of shallow, muddled gesture in Wonder Woman 1984 really does not cut it anymore. Your film needs to do and say more than just point at stuff and say, yeah, that exists, and is. Even
though you said you love the fact that Pedro Pascal's character was an allegory for Trump without any explanation. Without any you did not provide any depth about why the hell that was important. About why that was a good decision. So why the fuck do they need to elaborate on this? There's no depth within the Trump allegory. So why would there be depth with this? You're very selective of what you find meaningful with this film. Racism against two brown cultures, bad. Using Trump as an allegory for this motherfucker, good, even though it supplies no depth whatsoever on why.
Isn't that bad? Because if you do that, you just end up with the mess that is this movie. With its lack of willingness to engage with the topics it brings up.
Oh wait, also, what's his name? Oh, where is it? Phantom of the Night says, but are you gonna blame this on Patty Jenkins though? And of course not. Of course not. Because she said in the beginning, I'm not here to demonize the filmmakers. Yeah, of course you're not. Because the filmmaker in this case and the writer would be a woman. So no, of course you're not.
Leading to the film having worse implications or misinterpretations. Again, this is consistent throughout the entire film, from the film not wanting to engage with the fact that Steve Trevor is in another man's body, to talking about classist politics with Maxwell Lord, or even more importantly, to the Irish and Middle Eastern wishes and segments of the film. It not only comes across as ignorant and lazy, but as arrogant, callous, and pompous, especially in the cases of the wishes.
But you know, the Trump allegory is fine. The Trump allegory was great. It was so great.
Which brings me finally back to Cheetah, because I think Kristen Wiig's character embodies the entire problem with this movie. Kristen Wiig's story arc reads like a lukewarm version of Catwoman in Batman Returns,
True.
or Riddler in Batman Forever, or even more specifically, Electro in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, it's basically the same trope. And don't forget the guy from Iron Man 3. That motherfucker. The guy who Guy Pearce plays.
She's an underappreciated woman who idolizes our hero and wishes to be like them. But when Cheetah gets the superhero powers, she uses them badly. Where Wonder Woman is self-sacrificing, Cheetah is selfish. Again, there is a core idea here that is meaningful and nuanced, a discussion of how it's important not to build up just for yourself, but for others. How women...
No. It's basically don't let power go to your head. Same thing with Maxwell Lord. It's the same fucking shit, except the female version. Same shit. Same fucking plot line for both villains, which sucks. Which is another reason why this movie sucks.
And any minority group only get further when they work alongside each other rather than fighting each other to get on top.
Oh god! Wait, let's rewind that. Let's get the whole flavor of that.
Idea here that is meaningful and nuanced, a discussion of how it's important not to build up just for yourself, but for others. How women and any minority group only get further when they work alongside each other rather than fighting each other to get on top.
That's not what this fucking movie is about. That is not. This ain't about fucking minorities rising up. Get the fuck out of here. Derpster, $5 super chat. People turn a blind eye to China's racism generally and against the, oh my god, the Uyghur. I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing that shit. Sorry. But, Disney, NBA, Apple, etc. want money and don't give a damn about human rights. Yeah, basically. Yep. Oh god.
That we should come together in our fight rather than fighting each other. That's a really, really important idea. But how is that shown within the film? Cheetah and Wonder Woman build no meaningful relationship between each other.
That's because the pacing is shit. The pacing is garbage. Instead of uniting the two characters, they focus more on Diana and Chris Pine and them trying to stop Maxwell Lord, that it kind of just goes right around Kristen Wiig's character.
They're just shown
the characterization is trash in this movie.
To have a quick,
it's got good glimmers, but but overall it's trash.
Perfunctory and shallow one, just barely enough to pass the Bechdel test. Instead, we are shown this idea through both of these women's relationships and interactions with men. Cheetah gets empowered by feeling sexy at work by all the men ogling her, and she is tricked by Maxwell Lord because he finally notices and hits on her. And when men sexistly hit on Cheetah, she beats the crap out of them, punching them and maybe even killing them, though the film doesn't actually let us know if she killed this guy or not.
Well, logistically, yeah, she killed his ass because his spine should have been baroque when he hit that truck.
Not. This is shown to be bad, and it kind of is.
It is? No, it fucking
but
is.
She does also have a point. It's not a bad thing to get empowered by being sexy, or a bad thing to want to tell men to fuck off when they're being sexist towards you. Yes, she takes it too far, but the film never actually addresses that nuance.
That nuance? Because it's a fucking one-dimensional superhero film. Like you said. Just yeah, she's got to be... For one thing, let's be real, there's a little bit of men bad in this fucking movie. But I think that's just to further Diana's relationship with Chris Pine. No man can measure up except for Chris Pine's character. It just gives her a bigger reason to be more melancholy for Chris Pine, which is what I said before. Like, no man is measuring up, so she wants her draft pick back.
And to contrast this with Wonder Woman, someone who takes all that sexism on the chin and doesn't let it bother her. She just ignores it. She doesn't
I mean, which would be reasonable because she's got fucking superpowers. Why the fuck would this even bother you?
fight it. She just says, ugh, how silly.
I've had my eyes on you for some time, so if you ever need
That's great, Carl.
At the end of the day, she's above all the riffraff. And so in the end, Diana and Cheetah are framed as ideologically opposing. Diana isn't even able to convince Cheetah of her wrongdoing. But wouldn't it have been more powerful to show their friendship actually build and have Diana actually be able to reach Cheetah at the end of the story to show that building strong, truthful relationships with each other, with other women, is actually the path to empowerment. But instead, we get Diana framed as the embodiment of selflessness and Cheetah as selfish.
Yes, because The Rock and her wish ruined her. It's the monkey paw effect, god damn it! Yeah, the monkey paw effect is like kind of shitty in this movie, but at the same time, it's like that's what it is. Like that's the monkey. Like as much as she got so much power, and she doesn't know how to deal. Like Diana's able to deal with her beauty and her alluringness and her popularity. She's able to take it in a way that's healthy, whereas what's her face, the cheetah bitch. She becomes like a shallow ass ethot. Like basically that's what it is. Diana is like the beautiful, like she's naturally beautiful and her beauty is not really a thing with her. But the other one, like she puts all her value into how people react to her because she's like she doesn't know how to deal with that. She takes her beauty and her qualities through a through a superficial lane. That's why she loses her fucking humanity. No. Bohemian Bottle Cap $5 super chat. It's sexist to be hit on now. Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
Film sends the message that women need to be endlessly self-sacrificing, superior, and flawless, rather than being flawed, yet made more powerful by engaging.
Okay, but when Diana was flawed, you had a fucking problem with that. When Diana wished for her fucking dead boyfriend to come back, that was bad. Being flawed for Diana is bad. But it's perfectly fine for this character. See, yeah, I can see where, yeah.
Engaging with the world and those around them. This is ultimately the problem with
like, we're not saying that she should be perfect. We're saying that, like, she shouldn't be a fucking cunt. And maybe not side with the bad guy, you know, and help him out. And help him tear apart the universe because she wants to keep her power. That's the fucking point. Ain't nobody asking this bitch to be perfect.
Wonder Woman 1984. It's just the veneer of feminism without actually engaging with what feminism means. Feminism
doesn't mean anything.
It isn't about saying women are powerful if they can just exist over all the sexism and problems in the world. Don't get me wrong, the idea of Theramascara is powerful for that exact reason, because it shows us a place where women get to exist without.
Yeah, so you just contradicted yourself there.
Moral uncertitude, injustice, and sexism of the real world. And that's nice. I want to have that utopia. It's a nice goal to aim for.
It's a fucking comic book movie. It's a comic book movie. In real life, women don't get along this well. What the fuck is wrong with you?
But when you take Wonder Woman out of Theramascara and put her into the real world, you have to have the movie engage with real world issues. You can't have the character be a distant, cold, and aloof symbolic figure. True feminism means actually engaging with the problems around you and actually engaging with.
I thought you said engaging with problems was the problem with this movie. Hail Mendoza, $5 super chat. Hard for anyone to get inspired by a woman who killed a guy in the first movie because she was stubborn.
With the world. And this is a problem we see with a lot of feminist films that fail to be inclusive of women beyond those of a certain type of privilege, usually tied to their skin color. It's how we get the idea of white feminism. And I'm not necessarily saying Diana is white. We could talk about, Jewish people's access to whiteness, but certainly.
Oh God, how do you fucking wake up in the
morning?
The
idea that women like Diana, who are well off and not tied to any meaningful connection or issues of the world around them, don't have to be anything more than pillars of selfless strength. They provide the blandest possible protagonist, hoping that all women will just be able to identify into this symbolic figure because, hey look, women can be powerful too. But real representation is actually critically engaging with problems that.
But when she turned out to be flawed, you didn't fucking like it. You fucking immediately shit on it because it was centered around a fucking man. Even though that is exactly, people point that out as a fucking flaw in the film. Her wanting her dead boyfriend back was a flaw. But you didn't like that shit. Jesus.
That real people actually have to deal with. And it's why films like Black Panther were so celebrated. Because that movie gave us a flawed protagonist who was forced by the story's villain to actually look at the problems of the world around him and actually see how he couldn't stay distant and aloof. T'Challa in Black Panther learned that he couldn't.
You mean the guy who wanted all white people to die? That guy, he learned from that guy?
Just be an absent ruler hiding behind an invisible wall, that he actually had to try and stop what was going on in the world around him, that he had to respond.
He technically didn't learn from him, he learned from his father's actions that he needed to be more open with the rest of the world, because he left a kid alone and let this kid create, like, build up this resentment. And he made this kid because he just because his father treated the rest of the world like, nah, y'all ain't shit. Basically, you know, xenophobia, you know? People don't want to fucking admit that about Black Panther and you know, that the characters were fucking xenophobic as shit, but whatever. Yeah, that's what made him change his mind. It wasn't Killmonger. It was what happened to Killmonger that made him realize that.
Responsibility to do so, and a desire to do so, an earnest desire to do so. That's what that story was all about. Black Panther still gave us a celebration of black culture and African culture in a way.
Not really. If you listen to people like talk about I forgot. I think it might have been on. Okay, we're the fuck? Reconnect, connect, reconnect. Come on, what the fuck? Unconnected again. Are we back? Are we back? You guys can hear me, right? Oh, Julian Gonzalez? You can't talk badly about Black Panther. Yeah. Okay, I think we're back. People are saying we're back. See, I sometimes I ring my volume thing because sometimes, I don't know, the internet gets weird when it doesn't do that, when it doesn't make that noise. I don't know, it's fucking weird, but like, it's a habit, but it has worked in the past. So anyway, getting back to this,
that no movie had before. But it also said that it's not just about celebrating these cultures and these types of identities, it's about saying something meaningful with them too, and saying something unique to those identities, and actually saying something about the world that we live in. Especially as the superhero film genre grows, that needs to be what's happening. But in Wonder Woman 1984, Diana just builds her own Themyscira of one within the real world. She's a woman alone and above it all, and not willing to engage. And compare Wonder Woman 1984.
She's not willing to engage with feminism, and that makes her a shitty character. Oh wait, Veritas G, are you using some kind of USB port or so? It could be your power setting, or on power saving, this on and off thing happens a lot with external HD. Maybe you need to turn it off. Device manager. I don't know what that would have to do with my internet though. Yeah, but anyway, like I was saying, like, yeah, she needs to engage with feminism or she's a shitty character. Why doesn't the fucking feminist message have to be so overt for you to fucking get it? Besides, the movie's already shit enough. We don't need to add more shit.
1984 to my favorite DCEU film, Birds of Prey. A film that, while certainly not for everyone and definitely flawed, actually worked to critically engage with not only the issues of being a woman, but womanhood from multiple perspectives and identities.
Multiple perspectives? You mean like the little Chinese girl, the mafia hitman, and the lounge singer? The fuck you talking about? never got that from Birds of Prey. I mean, it was like a cringe. Oh, there was a feminist message, but it was cringe as fuck. And it was superficial. How the fuck you can say that Birds of Prey had a meaningful feminist message is just shows how invalid your fucking opinions are on this subject.
The film actually brings up and actually engages with.
And this scene was so fucking out of nowhere. When he met, like, and it was so uncomfortable, like, for the wrong reasons, because, like I said, it was just out of nowhere. Black, I'm calling him Black Mask, because that's what he is. Black Mask was so fucking cartoony and over the top, and then suddenly he yells at this fucking woman and does this, like, and intimidates this woman and makes her disrobe in front of fucking everybody. It made no sense. It made no sense. He wasn't menacing or scary throughout the entire movie, except for that one scene. It was out of nowhere. Just because something makes you emotional doesn't mean it has any depth. It's just fucking, it's just Ewan McGregor sexually assaulting a woman. That's it. Doesn't mean shit. He's a great actor, so of course he sold it. But like, what the fuck? That scene didn't mean shit.
Issues of toxic masculinity, imperialism, cultural appropriation, and does so
cultural appropriation, eh?
In a much stronger way in its limited single city scope than Wonder Woman does with its entire globe-trotting and heavily political.
The fact that she thinks that Birds of Prey, like I don't like either movie. They're both shit. But to say that Birds of Prey is any better is like, what? Huh?
Plot. Harley Quinn in that movie isn't above it all. She can't be. Harley lives in a small.
She's not above it all because she's a fucking villain. She ain't above nothing because she's a villain. She has fucking murdered children. And she's a feminist icon we deserve, bitch. She is a villain. She ain't above nothing. Keep in mind, she has killed people for the Joker. She was not, I mean, she's a villain. I don't know why the fuck people unironically look up to her.
Small apartment and has to pay the rent. She's recovering from an abusive relationship.
She's recovering from an abusive relationship. She has to pay rent. Oh no! This horrible villain who has murdered countless people. Oh my god, she has to pay rent. She has to pay rent. She has to pay her own rent now, guys. She doesn't have a man to depend on to pay her rent for her, and she has to pay it for herself. That's feminist as fuck right there. What? Get the hell out of here. Oh, you gotta pay rent? Ooh. Serenity 2 Witches, I think, and Bop, didn't Harley kill Robin? I don't know if it was in that, but it was implied that she did help kill him in Batman vs. Superman, so. She's a fucking murderer, but she has to pay rent. It's such a hardship. She broke up, she got out of an abusive relationship. For one thing, I don't give a fuck, because like I said, she's a villain. I don't care. She's a fucking villain. She's murdered people for this nigga. I don't give a fuck. That's like saying you sympathize with, oh my god, I forgot their names, but like, there were these two killers where the husband and the wife would like kidnap girls and assault them and all that, and of course the husband got a harsher charge than she did because everyone bought the fact that she was manipulated into it, even though she was not. She was just as crazy as his ass. But that's like sympathizing with her more than you sympathize with him, and saying that she's a feminist because she's moved on and she's living out her life scot-free and paying bills. Fuck that. Both of y'all can go fuck yourselves. Are you kidding me? She's paying rent, y'all. That's, whew. Please.
Above it all, she can't be. Harley lives in a small apartment and has to pay the rent. She's recovering from an abusive relationship. And her fellow Birds of Prey are dealing with issues of the police, employment, depression, abusive men in power.
Though Renee Montoya being a cop could have been explored more deeply.
And even more. Yet, they manage to make themselves stronger by reaching out to each other rather than taking on the world alone.
She is a fucking villain. I could give a shit.
I did a whole video on why I love Birds of Prey and why I think it's a really important and inclusive feminist film. Even
Imagine simping for a fucking murderer, and I'll bet you this will be the same person who will throw a side eye at any man who likes the Joker or who looks up to the Joker. I bet money if I scour her fucking channel right now, I know I'm gonna find a video for that.
Even Marvel's Captain Marvel, which I didn't love and think is kind of just an okay film, at least attempted to showcase the connection between how women are treated and real-world issues of...
See what I'm saying? Even in that, even the most lukewarm feminist... No, not lukewarm. It was cold as fuck. The lamest... Like that scene where dude was like, you know why they call it the cockpit, don't you? And, oh, don't forget the scene with the Don. The Don, baby, the Don. Apparently, that's so fucking feminist to this person. So feminist, stealing someone's property because they told you because they asked you to smile. Get the fuck out of here. I ain't Zilla. I'll fuck you up. $10 super chat. Hey, you're blurry on my ends. Not really a problem. Just needed a reason to be financially irresponsible since I can't hit the club. Want to give you... I want to give you a shout out to my dog Godzilla. Thank you for that. Ray Mercier, I don't know, changed to 480p. Yeah, basically what she said, or he. I don't know. I guess I'm bad with names. But yeah, imagine thinking Captain Marvel is even a good enough depiction of feminism. And of course, all her, like, every little bit of feminism she shows is like, oh, got a white female lead. It's always a white female lead. Nothing inherently wrong with that, but it's like, it seems like every single fucking time.
Oppression, radicalization, and discrimination.
Now, don't get me wrong, I don't care. Because I don't want this shit shoved into fucking movies unless it's gonna be subtle. Because I don't, like I said, like, because feminism is such a fucking black hole of shit that I don't want it in anything. Like, if you're not going to do it right, or if you're not going to be mature about it, if you're not going to go beyond men bad, patriarchy, and all that bullshit, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to fucking hear it.
And then it's about building strong connections and coalitions and communities with those who share your struggles across identities that makes us stronger. It's why the twist of actually having this scroll...
I'm pretty sure Harley Quinn caused her own struggle. Now I want to watch her. Now I want to watch her Birds of Prey video and pick that shit apart, because I know I'm gonna hate that.
Actually, be the marginalized group in that movie makes it so memorable and stronger than it would.
They're a marginalized group. It makes it so memorable. Well, in the comics, they were villains. And also, like, their actions in the beginning of the movie kind of contradict their actions when you find out they were marginalized. So it doesn't really make sense. It's almost like they changed the script mid-movie. If that's what it felt like.
Would have been otherwise if Captain Marvel had just taken on the world on her own. No, she works with the Skrull to build something bigger than just...
Why does she have to fucking work with people who she thought were villains? Why the fuck does she have to do that?
Herself, she doesn't just take on the world on her own, even though she probably could. But Wonder Woman never actually does this. The Wonder Woman of Wonder Woman...
Oh yeah, remember, like, her not wanting to be alone and wanting her boyfriend back? What? Did we just suddenly forget that?
In 1984.
Why she gotta team up with the female villain just because she's a part of a marginalized group? I'm sorry, but women in America aren't marginalized. Please stop that shit. Please knock it off. Please stop it. Fucking stop it! Because the most the cheetah bitch went through was that men catcalled her, which made me feel even less sympathetic for her. Like, yeah, bitch, learn how to fight. Learn how to kick some ass. You'll be good. Why do you have to be friends with someone else to deal with fucking problems? Just deal with the shit.
She's an unachievable dream, and as a result puts unrealistic expectations and burdens onto women that we can never actually achieve in the real world.
We can't have our own jobs. We can't. We can't get over the trauma of our boyfriend dying in front of us. We can't do that. We can't do that. It's supposed to inspire us. We're not supposed to. It's not a fucking manual. Reasonable people know that superhero movies are not manuals. They're just something to aspire to, like ideals. Ideals. Oh, like Wonder Woman. Oh, she's heroic, and like I said, she's got her own job. She's very beautiful and independent and whatnot. Oh, whatever. I can get on that. Like, you're supposed to aspire to certain ideals. You're not supposed to use the movie as a fucking manual. Like, what's the... Oh, stinging cake. How dare Wonder Woman be an ideal to strive for? How dare she? Yes, exactly. DMARS, women aren't minorities, especially white women. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hollow Cathead was a doctor, got paid super well, dropped it for a crazy ass white dude. Oh yeah, that's about Harley Quinn. But yeah, she made her own choices. She was this brilliant doctor was somehow manipulated by one of her own patients. I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen, but I'm just saying don't tie her in with feminism, because she is far from a fucking feminist character. So let's just knock it off. Dr. Diddler, $5 super chat. Superman creates unrealistic beauty standards for men, and so he should be obese, a blob, a la Moving Pictures Robert. Yeah, exactly. No one should strive to be healthy and athletic. Just be fat and miserable. Whatever. Don't strive to be anything better than what you are, because that's unrealistic. Even though this person who used to be a man is striving to be a woman, people could say that's fucking unrealistic. Keep in mind, I am joking, YouTube. I am just a joke. Anyway. To anything, fuck that. Okay, there we go. I think we is back. I think we is back. Blah, blah, blah. I think we is back. Oh, yeah, y'all noticed that too. As soon as I made that joke, the internet went out. Anyway, okay, we're back, so let's get back to it.
And this lack of inclusiveness and engaging with other identities, by the way, is not just a problem within the film itself.
Like, just say you have a problem with women being villains and just shut up. You got a real problem with it. You want people to sympathize with the female, like in the what do you call it? You want people to be able to sympathize with marginalized villains. That's what it is. Just say that. Just say that. Just fucking say it. But I guess that's a hard sell, saying that, well, why don't we just feel sympathy for the brown guy who's emulating Trump, or the psychopathic fucking chick who's murdered people, or maybe the chick who wants to be a cheetah for some reason. Let's sympathize with these people, yeah. Let's have them unite with the good guys for whatever reason. No. How about that? Fucking no.
Problem outside of the film. There is a reason that the film had such positive reviews and a certified fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes before it came out on Christmas. Because the screeners that were given out to reviewers before the film came out were mostly given to male reviewers who gave—
Oh, fuck you! Fuck what? And there we go. There it is, baby. There it is, baby. That's why people hate it, even though I don't like it either. It's just men. It's the men who hate this movie. Psycho Mammoth, $9.99 super chat. I'm a big fan of your work. Love the Batwoman episodes. Have you thought about watching Black Lightning series? No, not really. Someone needs to bring justice to that electric dump fire. Yeah, I'm not really interested in that show. Not really. But yeah, of course, the men gave it a bad rating. That's why it's not well received, even though you don't fucking like the movie. Oh God,
film a higher
Hang on, go back.
Itself. It was a problem outside of the film. There is a reason that the film had such positive reviews and a certified fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes before it came out on Christmas. Because the screeners that were given out to reviewers before the film came out were mostly given to male reviewers who gave the film a higher rating.
But when you look at the number of reviews that came in by date, only 76 of the film's reviews came out on embargo date, and that was because fewer critics were authorized to watch it beforehand. These are the critics
because it was shit. That's what they do that's what studios do when their movie is shit. They don't give it to that many reviewers.
That saw Wonder Woman 1984 and had their reviews ready when Warner Media and Warner Brothers said, you can release your reviews. As I mentioned before, not the bulk of reviews, but they were by far the most positive reviews. When you look at the male critics, who made up about...
You do realize that male embargo and female critics, 36%, male critics having 92%. What does this prove?
2/3 of that pool still, they were higher on the film than even their female counterparts. Male critics rated the film at 92%.
What's the point?
Embargo date.
And this isn't impugning on the value or professionalism of these male reviewers. I liked many of them. But just that if critics were more inclusive, both in who WB decided to send the screeners to and who is hired and promoted.
But if they gave it a higher rating, what the fuck is your problem? What the fuck is your problem?
As top critics within the field of film criticism, then the reviews probably would have more accurately reflected everyone's views of the film. And this isn't just a...
What the fuck? I don't understand what I don't understand what the criticism is here. Is it because it went out to mostly male reviewers and it got a bad rating? Or because they rated it well despite being... I don't know what the fuck you're saying here. Okay, embargo day, female critics, 36.8%, and they gave it 82%. Embargo day, male critics, 63.2%, gave it a 92%, okay? And then December 16th to December 24th, 26% of female critics gave it a 76. And after a while, male critics gave it a... Okay, but like, what does this mean? Who cares? This doesn't mean shit. What are you trying to say?
On embargo date.
And this isn't impugning on the value or professionalism of these male reviewers. I liked many of them. But just that if critics were more inclusive, both in who WB decided to send the screeners to and who is hired and promoted as top critics within the field of film criticism, then the reviews probably would have more accurately reflected everyone's views of the film. And this isn't just a problem with Wonder Woman 1984, by the way. This is a recurring problem throughout all of film media that Brie Larson, Captain Marvel herself, brought up around her own film.
So earlier...
Oh my God! No! Please don't do this. Don't do that. Don't ever reference this as good criticism. Ever. Oh. Ooh. Let's get some F's in the chat for that one. Woo! That's just no. So basically she's saying if the critics were more inclusive, more people would have liked it, even though you're a woman and you don't like it. So what the fuck? What are you griping about? People don't like it. You said like you don't even like the movie. And you said it's a moral failure, yet you don't understand why this movie got such a low rating? What the fuck?
This week, USC Annenberg's Inclusive Initiative released findings that 67% of the top critics reviewing the 100 highest grossing movies in 2017 were white males.
Okay.
Less than a quarter were white women, and less than 10% were unrepresented men. Only 2.5%.
What does unrepresented men mean?
Of those top critics were women of color. So you're probably thinking right now, like, wow, that super doesn't represent the country that I live in, and that's because that's true.
No, there's like when it comes to people of color, like at least for black people are 13% of the U.S. population, and all the other numbers are actually like when you go down the line, it's lower than that. Like Asians, Mexicans. Well, I think Mexicans might be a little. Aren't they a little higher? I think you think they would be, but I don't know. But like other nationalities, like they're a small number of the fucking population that's actually reflective of the population. Just like there's not many black actors because not many black actors in the country. Like, are you fucking retarded? Do you think they're being excluded somehow? What do you want to happen? And like I've said this, I think I've said, well, probably not out loud, probably not on camera, but I've said this when watching this fucking clip. What do you expect to fucking happen? Do you think they're like deliberately excluding? Like, for one thing, with Rotten Tomatoes, all you gotta do is fucking post on there. Or like identify yourself as a fucking reviewer, and they let you put a fucking review on there. At least that's from my understanding. You don't have to work for them. That's not how that works. And like I said, what do you expect to happen? Like, yeah, you nigger, review movies so we can be more inclusive. We need to virtue signal. It's more important than actually, hiring people based on, dependable reviews. No.
This is a huge disconnect from the U.S. population breakdown.
No, it's not, you fucking bubble-headed
30%
moron.
30% white men, 30% white women, 20% men of color.
Because white people are 60 to 70% of the fucking country.
And 20% women. 30% white women, 20% men of color. And
yeah, actually, that's overrepresented. 20% men of color.
Women of color.
So that's 40% women of color and 60% white people. That's not even that big of a fucking discrepancy. That's not even that big of a fucking gap. What do you because I'm adding all these together. I'm adding all these fucking numbers together. So people of color, because 20% men of color, I add that to the 20% of women of color. So basically, there's 40% people of color up against 60% white people as reviewers. So that's not that big of a gap. Because anybody could be a fucking reviewer. Like, anybody could, sign up for some shit and say, hey, I'm reviewing a movie. Which actually might be the fucking problem with Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, Phantom of the Night. It's incredibly racist as to not only say other races can enjoy certain types of media, but it also views minorities as monoliths that also enjoy the same thing, and I hate it. Yeah. I don't care what a 40-year-old white dude has to say about A Wrinkle in Time. Well, this coming from a woman of color, A Wrinkle in Time is complete garbage. so
I also saw it throughout 2020 with one of the biggest examples for me.
That's all you got is Brie Larson? Like, I love how this person's like, we shouldn't give in to white feminism. Like, white feminism shouldn't be the only thing. And then all you've shown me is white feminism.
Was when many black women influencers brought up that Microsoft was not giving out free Xbox Series X to women of color.
What?
Prior to that console's launch. Microsoft was not giving out free Xbox Series X to
I meant review consoles, not
women
free.
of color. Prior to that console's launch. Inclusiveness does not start and end within your own.
Like, they're supposed to just pick out black people. No, you black people are going to review our shit. They just like, oh, let's give it to the top critics. And if the top critics ain't one of you, then yeah, you might not get it.
Your own creative work itself, but also with who you allow your creative work to be critically engaged with and in what context you put it out into the world in. Not only does a creative work need to be inclusive after the fact, but also during the actual production of it. And I say that because after I finished the recording of this video, director Patty Jenkins went on the Mark Maron podcast and had this to say about her experience directing the first Wonder Woman movie.
I feel super lucky that everybody in the industry wanted to hire me, but I felt like they wanted to hire me like a beard. They wanted me to walk around on set being a woman director, but it was their story,
right?
And their
because you weren't the fucking writer. I'm sorry, did you write the script? No, you didn't. You wrote the script for the second one, and it's a piece of shit. they just wanted me to be like a director. They're not going, and now they're not going to rehire your dumbass. They just wanted me to be a director. Yeah, do you know how comic book movies work? They just hire a fucking director to come in. And plus, you are not the writer. You are the director. You just take the script and you fucking direct it.
Vision.
So they could go, look, we got one. There she is. Look at her.
I agree that they shouldn't tokenize like female directors, but like they would have done this to a male director. Like, yeah, you have no real input unless you come like Zack Snyder. You know damn well, like he's been fighting with Warner Brothers for power over his own shit for the longest fucking time. So to say that, oh, I had no power in this because you were fucking director for hire. You have no balls. Like literally, you have no balls. Like figuratively. So you didn't fight for anything. But then when you did fight for something and you fucking wrote the script, it was a piece of shit. So they had a fucking right not to trust you. But it's not because you're a woman, it's because you have shit ideas. Like I said, Zack Snyder had to really, and even, it's bad when Ben Affleck, Ben Affleck makes great movies. I think with the exception of one. But he makes great movies. He wanted to make his own Batman movie, which I was on fucking board for, because the motherfucker can write, he can direct, he can do that. At least direct. I'm not sure how many of his movies he actually wrote, but he knows what the deal is. So I was excited when they said, oh, Batfleck, he's going to direct and star in his own Batman movie. I was like, yes. But he was having fucking fun. But Warner Brothers, their fucking dumbasses were fighting him. Critically acclaimed director. We were fighting his ass over ideas and he didn't want to deal with the shit anymore. They could have actually churned out a good fucking movie for once. But no, they fought his ass. They fought him so hard he became an alcoholic again. After he got over it. That's how fucking shitty Warner Brothers is. So, yeah, I can't feel too sorry for you. Because that's just the way it's Warner Brothers. I'm not going to feel sorry for you because, I was tokenized. Like, all right, but like every fucking director they bring in can't do what the fuck they want to do. You're not special. You're not special in this. And like I said, you fucked up your own movie. When they gave you the power to do what you want to do, you still fucked it up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And my ideas, they were like, I don't even want to read.
Now I can see if they got a reputable female director who knew what she was doing, and still, like, if they had gotten, I don't know, Catherine Bigelow for a, let's say, like a Wonder Woman, maybe a Wonder Woman movie, or a Batman movie, whatever fucking movie, that's high action, and they were fighting her, I've been like, yeah, that's some bullshit. That is complete bullshit, because she is more than capable of doing an action movie. And we all know that. And a movie that's actually, that can be Oscar worthy. We all know that. But you made one Oscar worthy movie, and then even the first Wonder Woman in itself kind of wasn't that good. But then when you got a hold of some power and then you wrote your own script, it was shit. It was shit, so I don't feel sorry for you because you fucked it up. When you shot your shot, you fucked it up.
They wouldn't even read the script.
Right.
It was such mistrust of a different way of doing things and a different point of view. Even all the way up to Wonder Woman. When I first joined Wonder Woman, it was kind of like, yeah, okay, but let's do it this other way. And I was like, that's not how women don't want to see that. And that's not her being harsh and tough and cutting people's heads off. Like that's not what I'm a Wonder Woman fan. That's not what we're looking for.
You already made.
Even though Wonder Woman is known for killing shit, I saw a fucking animated version of Wonder Woman when she held up someone's severed head. The bitch is a warrior. And they use swords. Why wouldn't she be cutting people's heads off? Women don't want to see action. We don't want to see you a damn lie. See, that's what I'm saying. This bitch don't know what she talking about. She thinks she representing all women up in here. Women don't want to see that. Bitch, shut up. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. Women will flock to see John Wick. I know plenty of women who like The Punisher and love watching that shit. So you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This is why I don't sympathize with her. Because she's had shitty ideas from jump. She does not know what she's doing in this genre. And you know what, that's fine. Like, the genre's not for you. But don't get mad at the studio. Like, this is someone said in the fucking chat, that this is the person they needed to be fighting. They need to be like, you know, shut up and just direct the movie. Just direct the movie. Like, the first one was passable. Like, it wasn't great, but it was passable because your ass was nowhere near the script. Psycho Mammoth, $9.99 Super Chat. At least Marvel has their heroes helping people and have actual relatable characters. It's mind-boggling. Even being a DC fan, seeing their work is embarrassing, man. Yeah. But it's like, yeah, she has no... Women don't want to see getting heads cut off and shit. Bitch. Movies like Kill Bill and... Oh my god, what else? Like, shit like Kill Bill... And this is rich coming from this chick who is boosting this this fucking rant right here when she watched Birds of Prey and is completely fine with women looking up to Harley Quinn's crazy ass. But co-signs for Patty Jenkins saying women don't want to see violent stuff. What the fuck? The box office says otherwise. Fucking movies, action movies, violent movies do not get popular just from men seeing them. I don't know who the fuck told you that lie.
Made one monster movie about a woman.
They were nervous that it's not viable.
Right.
They're all freaked out by the female superhero films that had failed, the smaller things that had failed.
And the smaller ones that failed barely had any real action in it. Like any good action.
I told them what film...
Like Elektra, Catwoman, those were shit.
I wanted to make.
In terms of Wonder Woman.
I said, this is not the story I think you should tell with Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And
Well, like, this is pointless because this chick, the reviewer, said that the movie sucks. So what are we complaining about again? But if men hadn't... Shut up. A Sly Goose 77 $5 super chat. The worry was DC would be Marvel-esque, like, so they just need to go full dark. Let Snyder do the Injustice timeline. Like, I'm all right. Look, I'm fine with Snyder doing his own thing, but he has to have someone come in and buffer a little bit and keep him from being too dark to the point where he snatches away characters' personalities. Like, characters need personalities. I want some kind of camaraderie, some kind of unity and hopefulness with the fucking story. I don't want just like a bunch of dark stuff like this and Superman he walks the earth miserable. Like, I don't want it to be just that, you know. Sergio McQuill, I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. $20 super chat. How hard is it to admit that directors make bad movies? Does it matter what's in between their legs? This just proves she squandered her opportunity and blamed sexism. You make good movies, you get to make more. Exactly. Like, I won't lie, she was a token. She was. But at the same time, you have bad ideas. You have bad fucking ideas, as evidenced by this movie.
I didn't want to be the one to get, you know, in a fight for years about it. And so
exactly, you didn't fight back like Ben and Zach did. I mean, they got tired of it and they were like, you know what, fuck it. But you had no fight in you. They just gave you what you wanted for fear of being called sexist, and you still called them sexist. No, but you know, the movie fucking sucks. That's what it is. Like, say what you want about Zack Snyder's films, I'd watch that shit over fucking Wonder Woman 1984 again. This cat loves Apollo 50 sec, whatever that is. I think that's Swedish cash. Well, whatever. Does this girl from the video know how many chicks like slashers? Exactly. Slasher flicks, action movies. Like I said, there's a whole female Punisher. There's a whole female Punisher fandom. Even though some of them might be in there for like the wrong reasons. But like, but the violence, they still call it badass just like any man would. You know what I'm saying? Just like, what the fuck, what you talking about? Women don't want to see that. Women don't want to see a fucking Amazon warrior princess doing exactly what a fucking Amazon warrior princess would be doing.
Said no.
We want to see him have emotional... See, that's the thing. Wonder Woman has problems It's like the Wonder Woman movie and the other DCEU movies like Batman vs Superman and shit. They have problems that each other like the problems that Wonder Woman has is like something that would help Batman versus Superman. And what problems Batman versus Superman has, like it being too dark, like that darkness could rub off a little bit on Wonder Woman 1984. Like I didn't want to be edgy. I want to have metaphorical conversations about feminism and women. Women don't want to see action. Get fucked.
Oh, we want to do it.
You fucked your own career. You fucked yourself.
So they tried to go do it their way, and then they came back to me a year later and said, "Actually, do you want to do it your way?" And boom, I just went and made the movie. I want to make movies about women, but I don't want to make movies about being a woman.
Yeah,
that's so boring. You know, like.
But then you did, though.
I want to make movies about women doing all kinds of things, you know?
Right.
So people were kind of confused, but word got out that I wanted to do a superhero film. And, you know, to Marvel's credit, like on a movie that did not require a woman at all, they hired me. And so, you know, I've always been super grateful to them, even though it didn't work out.
Jenkins' words show that Warner Brothers was more interested in appearing to be diverse with Wonder Woman rather than actually doing the work to uplift and include women in the conversation of how they were actually being represented.
Because Patty Jenkins did not, as evidenced by this film, did not have good ideas.
Presented for the first time.
I bet you after this, you know what? If we do a third Wonder Woman movie, we're not bringing this bitch back. We're not bringing
superhero media on this level. It's things like this, as well as the clear bungling and mismanaging that Warner Brothers has done around its HBO Max platform to piss off its relationships with almost all of its filmmakers in order to appease its new owners, AT&T, that make me much more apt to lay the blame for this movie, Wonder Woman 1984's problems, at the feet of Warner Brothers and the executives involved in it, rather than on Patty Jenkins.
She wrote it. What the fuck you talking about? This was all her shit. She even just said it was all her shit. It's the studio's fault. Yeah, it's the studio's fault for leaving her in charge. You know what? No, you're right. It is the studio's fault for thinking she can make a good movie. It's the studio's fucking fault for that. You know what? Yeah, I retract what I said. It is the studio's fucking fault for thinking she can make a good superhero movie.
Though again, that's currently speculation on my part. Regardless though, movies like Wonder Woman 1984 and all of its flaws are what happens when instead of making media that is diverse and inclusive, you're instead focused on making, quote, virtue signaling diverse media. And I use the phrase virtue signaling as it's actually intended, not the YouTuber version of virtue signaling, meaning someone is just trying to show off that they have virtues in order.
Yeah, that's how YouTubers also interpret virtue signaling. I mean how it really means, not YouTubers. Like what the fuck does that mean? YouTube, I'm guessing she means male YouTubers, even though I use the same fucking phrase. Because so who the fuck you picking at right there? Not how, because you were also a fucking YouTuber.
In order to make them.
I mean it the way it's correct. I mean it's correct definition, not how YouTubers say it. What the fuck does that mean? Because you were also a YouTuber.
More profitable and marketable to a society that increasingly demands those things without actually doing the work to actually have those virtues. And you can see this stark difference.
Like, true, but I think you're mad because they didn't virtue signal. Because according to you, her being in love with a man, no, that's a no-no, and she should have had more more connections with women. More connections with women, no connection with men. And it should have had a more overt feminist message. How are you any different in this? Like, how are you not also a virtue signaler in this? Because like I said, Birds of Prey is bottom of the fucking barrel feminist, like, virtue signaling media. Just because you fucking like it doesn't mean it's not.
When you compare Wonder Woman 1984 as a work of diverse but not inclusive media and Birds of Prey, where star Margot Robbie used her leverage as the film's forward-facing star to bring in and work with director Kathy Yan to make the film both diverse and inclusive. And inclusive meaning
and it sucks.
Actually letting numerous voices of different backgrounds actually have a say in what is being created rather than just simply having them be there.
And it sucks.
Also, her stating that Marvel was more interested.
I'm not saying automatically like that diverse shit is bad, because back in the early 2000s, mid 2090s, and prior, there was like plenty of diverse shit out there for everyone to enjoy. Plenty of diverse shit because people wanted to make it. They weren't pressured into making it. And there was none of this bullshit. We need to put feminism in everything. We need to. Like, no, you don't need to. If it takes you there creatively, then fine. But you don't need to do any fucking thing. There's been plenty of diverse shit. Like I said, early 2000s, mid 2000s, 90s and shit. Plenty of shit. But the reason why it's so stigmatized now is because people are doing it for the wrong fucking reasons. And she, like, I love how this chick thinks she's any different from the people who, you lap that shit up when it's Birds of Prey. You lap that shit up. It's from the same fucking studio. You think they're gonna we'll make certain decisions for this crappy DCEU movie, but not this crappy DCEU movie. Like, come on!
Hiring her as a director rather than hiring her as a woman director makes me much more excited for Marvel movies going forward than DC, which is sad because, again, I'm a huge DC fan.
And by the way, I am not saying that every single female-led film needs to be a high-minded feminist masterpiece that smashes the patriarchy.
Yeah, right.
In fact, they shouldn't be. We should see more movies.
You mean like this movie?
Where women just get to beat the crap out of bad guys like any other superhero, and more diverse women at that. It's why.
And then Patty Jenkins shot it down because she wanted to do something like this garbage.
I love movies like The Old Guard. Yes, The Old Guard does have some things to say within it, but it's generally just a cool.
I think we're back. Okay. Anyway. What the fuck was I saying before I went out? Oof. Yeah, let's just get back to this.
Meaningful with them. In fact, it actively encourages us to not deal with them and ignore them as a matter of course.
And I love how, like, before she used X-Men as an example of meaningful, as meaningful engagements with issues, when it's not really, like, it just says, oh, bigotry wrong. And that's about it. Like, it does it in a way where it doesn't hammer you over the head with it. And that's the good thing about it. It's like, it kind of stays in its fucking lane. Like, yeah, we get it. Discriminating against mutants is wrong. But I think someone made a good point somewhere that, yes, X-Men, like, using that as an allegory doesn't really work because mutants are like, naturally scary. I forgot who the fuck said it. I think I saw it on Twitter, maybe, but someone said it, and, and it makes sense. And, like, it's the same thing with True Blood. Like, they use vampires as a way to show discrimination and bigotry, but, like, vampires are inherently violent, and they kill people because they kill people for sustenance. So yeah, that allegory doesn't work because you're basically saying minorities are bloodthirsty monsters. So yeah, that allegory for True Blood did not fucking work. And now that I really think about it, because I didn't really think about it back then, because I thought of it, well, it's just kind of like vampires, like it's just kind of like mutants and X-Men. Vampires can be good, but like this, then you watch the show and it's like not many of them are good. And the whole thing is that they, like I said, they eat people for sustenance, and that doesn't change with anything. But anyway.
Because people like Diana can. They have the luxury to. Let's just say it as it is. That mirrors how, because actively encourage to deal with the hard work of actually saying anything meaningful with them. In fact, it actively encourages us to not deal with them and ignore them.
Yeah, she's just to not deal with sexism. Yeah, remember when Cheetah beat the shit and damn near killed that guy who tried to rape her, and how all the catcalling guys are made to look like fucking goons and buffoons? They weren't trying to say anything. They did, like, just not engaging with anything. You remember she beat the... But like I said, this chick identifies with that character, so... You shouldn't say it outright, but you can tell she identifies with that character, So Cheetah nearly beating him to fucking death, of course, is like yeah, that's engaging with sexism. Doesn't really engage with sexism. Maybe because we are there to enjoy a fucking superhero movie, and that's not an appropriate time for that. Like I said, X-Men had that allegory and everything, but they're still enjoyable films. They don't make you feel guilty for watching them, and I think that's what this person wants, is like, oh, yeah, okay, Middle Eastern people being xenophobic against other Middle Eastern people, but like, what did those, like, who's browner, and and was it justified, maybe? Like, no.
As a matter of course.
Like I said, Wonder Woman 1984 is shit. But keeping it simple, like, actually, it should have been simpler. It should have been simpler. Like, it was trying to be too much. Like, the whole, the truth is enough, and blah, 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 blah. I think that message would have been better if they just took out that fucking Olympian scene. Just take it out. Samuel Shelton, $2 super chat. How can I get a hold of you about video editing? Oh, shit. I don't like it when people ask me about editing, because I'm basically just winging it too. Like, I will admit, like, I put a lot of work into it so I can be good at it, but that's the thing. Like, I'm no expert on this shit. I didn't get formal training for it, so I can't really answer questions. All I can say is, like, watch tutorials on YouTube. Absorb that shit. Like, watch tutorials for whatever editing software you're gonna use. Absorb that shit.
Because people like Diana can. They have the luxury to. They
have the luxury to not engage with real life issues, even though their whole job is engaging with real life issues by saving people. Yeah, just notice how absurd that fucking shit is. Like, yeah, like, that's her fucking job, is going head first into real life issues. When she's saving a whole mall full of people from, like, an asshole with a gun, when she's saving a little girl from an asshole, like, from being hurled off, like, thrown off a goddamn, after a goddamn story of them all. That's her being engaged in real life issues. But no, it has to be social issues. It has to be social issues for her to be like a real hero.
Say it as it is, that mirrors how many identities, even though they are part of marginalized groups, can ignore the harm of other marginalized groups. That's why we see log cabin Republicans, or TERFs for that matter. Those are groups that are part of marginalized groups, but actively work against helping others because they can actively ignore the struggles of those who have more intersecting marginalized identities. And I do hope that as we start to see more female-led superhero works like She-Hulk.
Oh, wait a minute. Samuel Shelton said, I meant offering to video edit for you. Uh-oh. Well, I gotta see, shit. Get at me on Twitter first, and then we'll talk. My handle is, what the fuck is my Twitter handle? Ugh. I have to sign into chat on here, damn it. But I think my Twitter handle is @JonsLongs. @JonsLongs. So yeah, get at me on Twitter first before anything, because I want to see what you got. I want to see if you already edited some stuff, because if you haven't, if you got nothing, then, you know, and if it's like, if you got nothing for me to work with, then I don't know what to say.
Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, Scarlet Witch, and
oh my god,
group, log cabin Republicans, or TERFs for that matter. Those are groups that are part of marginalized groups, but actively work against helping others because...
Log cabin Republicans, what the fuck? Like, they said they're part of marginalized groups. What the fuck does that mean? Log cabin Republicans.
They can actively ignore the struggles of those who have more intersecting marginalized identities. And I do hope that as we start to see more female-led superhero works like She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, Scarlet Witch, and the next Wonder Woman movie, and hopefully another Birds of Prey movie, that female superheroes don't end up being so broad and distant that they have nothing to say. As we start to see...
Why do they have to have something to say about feminism? I don't want virtue signaling, but I really want virtue signaling. Oh my god, that basically sums up this whole fucking review. I don't want virtue signaling. I need virtue signaling. I need it. I really need it.
See more diverse identities, not just women, in the superhero space. I hope that means that Wonder Woman doesn't have to be a hollow symbol for all of womanhood. Diana deserves to be and say more. In
other words, I want my Wonder Woman movie filled to the brim with feminist garbage. That's what you mean. You are so easy to fuck. That's why you like Birds of Prey. You are so fucking easy to manipulate. DC, like, okay, we didn't get him with Wonder Woman, but we gonna get him with Birds of Prey, because there's a lot of fucking Harvey Quinn simps who really look past her psychopathy. I love how she ended it like it was so meaningful. Like, no, it wasn't. You basically contradicted like this entire review. I don't want virtue signaling, but I really do want virtue signaling now. I just want more of it. That's what it was. There just wasn't enough for you. I hurry the fuck up. This is way too long.
Alright, that's it for this video. I know this is going to be a charged topic for many. I know it's going to get kind of heated, so I would please ask that in the comments, let's not attack each other or attack creators. If you want to attack me to vent out your anger...
I'm pretty sure, like, yeah, you got your own fan base, so no one's attacking. Well, no one's attacking you or challenging any viewpoints, because it seems like there's... I don't want to say overwhelming support, but like it's like 90% positive fucking support. Like like somewhere in like 95s. I don't know. I can't see it through the VidQ lens, the vidIQ lens, but whatever. I think after I'm done with this video though, there probably might be some people challenging your viewpoints. But like, yeah, people, they always say, oh, we're gonna have discussions, let it be civil, but like you pander to certain people, so there's not going to be any discussions. I don't know except the ones you approve of. So,
of frustration, please feel free to attack me or criticize me. Especially, I would love to hear criticism of any of my thoughts in this. That's totally fine, especially if I said anything that bothered you. But let's all just assume positive intent by everyone involved in this conversation, unless we can find out otherwise, and from the filmmakers and other commentators. And that doesn't mean we don't talk about the issues at hand, but let's try and make it constructive rather than destructive. Again, like I said, this was not the video that I wanted to make, but I made it in an effort that the type of conversation that comes out of Wonder Woman 1984 in general, and my video specifically, is helpful rather than harmful to the discourse. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this. Please subscribe to my channel for any more discussions of geek culture.
Well, it certainly isn't helpful.
And issues within geek culture. I also have a Patreon page that you can help me out on. I also have a podcast that you can check out. But beyond all of that, I hope that you, as always,
podcast is full of these bangers.
Live long and prosper. Oh, God. Props to Linda Carter for doing that all the dang time, because, oof, I do not feel good. Woo!
Okay, whatever. It's over. We're done. We've got through it. After all the internet outages, we got through that shit. Yeah, that's terrible. Like, 53 fucking minutes just to say there wasn't enough virtue signaling in the movie. Like, I don't want it to be virtue signaling. I want there to be, like, it just be nothing but. I want the movie to be a virtue signal in itself. That's where we got. That's what I got from this. There's all the contradictions and all the bullshit. Ugh. Imagine citing Brie Larson as a source for anything meaningful. Ugh. But yeah, it is officially like midnight on the dot. I can't believe I got it done on midnight on the dot. That's fucking impressive. But yeah, that was garbage. I actually want to look at her Birds of Prey video, but not tonight, because like I said, it's midnight. I'm done for the night. But probably another night of cringe. I'm gonna look at that Birds of Prey video she's got. We'll take a little look at that, see what that's about. I might have to watch Birds of Prey again to prep for it. Just trek through that sludge. I'm gonna have to look at my other, there's definitely some super chats I missed, and I gotta look at those. Neptune, $2 super chat. Do you have a Twitch account? Yeah, but I never fucking use it. Like, ever. Hang on, let's look. I'm gonna get rid of this right quick. Let's look for those super chats. Let's look for them super chats. Because, yeah, I know I missed some. I got most of them. I'd say about 70% of them. But some of them I missed. One of these days, if I ever get to 100K, I'm probably gonna do some kind of Q&A thing to celebrate it. Maybe. We'll see. Super chats. Du, 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 du. Du, 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 du. Hey. Yeah, that video was a blight on my life. I'm gonna thank you guys for tuning in before I'm a pre-thank you guys before reading these super chats, because yeah, that was a lot. That was 53 minutes just to say nothing. Like basically nothing. Okay, I read that one. Read that one. Read that one. Read that one. Oh yeah, Andres Antonio Gonzalez Caceres. See, I didn't read this all the way through because I didn't want any spoilers for this video. And it's 75. Ooh woo, hi girl, excited. Favorite part is this cringiness is there's no villains in the movie. In fact, Cheetah is the real hero because she almost kills a rapist. I didn't exactly get that vibe from like that video, but she definitely simps for Cheetah. She's marginalized. Like, get the fuck out of here. Okay, read that one. Read that one. That one. Oh yeah, Phantom Glide said my $5 super chat said your mic was off. Okay, but that's been handled clearly. Master Titan $2 super chat. Yeah, I'm not reading that shit. Read that one. Read that one. Read that one. Read that one. Read that dummy is immoral. Okay, read that one. Read that one. Read that one. Read that one. That one. That one. That one. Mecha Boo, $5 super chat. I'm sorry. I don't think I read that one, but I just did. So if I didn't, I did then. Read that one. Read that one. Read that one. I think Shark Tamer $2.99 super chat. Hopefully your week has gone good so far. I don't remember reading it, so I read it again. Read that one. Read that one. Read that one. Derpster $2.50 super chat. Such a big fan. Thanks for your smart and funny reviews. Thank you. Evil Hero Diamond Cat $5 super chat. I don't know why people expect these big budget Hollywood films to be good. They don't know how to be creative, so of course it'll be bad. Thank you. Nick Richardson $4.99 super chat. Unsheathes twin machetes. Apollo! Love your stuff. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Andres Antonio Gonzalez Casteres 30 woo. I'm gay and I despise this YTR because she is toxic. Oh, this YouTuber because she's toxic. Okay. Joey 245 $2 super chat. Shazam is the best DCEU movie. Don't at me. I'll agree with that. Time Lord Sky Dragon $2 super chat. I bet you have a lot of pungent otas. Oh my god, is that the fart motherfucker again? Ugh. This nigga is stalking me. Amber Sanders, $5 super chat. Love your content so much. Can't wait for more Batwoman videos. Can you say hi to my sister Dana? Hello, Dana. Hello. Sure. Dead Boy D, $4 super chat. It's a little puppy. Thank you. Read that one. Read that one. Mr. N, $5 super chat. This is something I addressed with a thought arguing with me about House. Just because you use rare and sophisticated words don't make you Jimmy Neutron. Thank you, Mr. N. Andrew Valdez, $4.99 super chat. Please warn people of the porn that's being shown on YouTube ads in children and adult accounts. Not kidding. Please tell. Well, see, I haven't, because I always have ad blocker on, so I don't even fucking notice, to be honest. Andres Antonio Gonzalez Caceres, 30 Iwu. Jay Longbone, the video stuck on buffering. Yeah. Oh, I swear they be doing this shit on purpose because my internet will be fine. And as soon as I talk about something a little bit undesirable, the internet just goes out. I'm telling you, it's a conspiracy. Johanna Fureborn. They made Wonder Woman and Mary Sue as a child. Oh yeah. That's that whole shit. That's like what they did in Mulan. They made her a total Mary Sue when she was a kid. I don't know why they keep doing that. Evil Hero Diamond Cat, $2 super chat. A 2-year-old could beat him in a fight. John Tangent, $5 super chat. So basically this movie is about as deep as a PBS kids show. Phantom of the Night, $4.99 super chat. It's because they keep warping, changing the definitions of words, that their standards are always shifting and conflicting with everything. Oh my god. Fran Madaraki, I think, $5 super chat. Why are we here? Just a buffer? Yes, that's why we're here. Evil Hero Diamond Cat, $2 super chat. Is it upsetting to not be seen as a man? Oh god. Bohemian Bottle Cap, $5 super chat. This person's probably never felt love, let alone been in love. Did you see the way she talks about her family's personal issues? I didn't like that shit. Ziggy the filmmaker. I think that's Ziggy. Or Zixie. I don't know. $4 super chat. A huge fan of your Batwoman reviews. LMFAO. I was gonna say Lumafao. Anyway. Andres Antonio Gonzalez Caceres, $30 uwu. The vag is good. The penis is evil. Remember that? Yeah, I remember that. Phantom of the Night, $4.99 super chat. If Chris Pine wanted her back, no one would complain. No, they complain. They fridged a woman for the sake of a man's development. Oh yeah. I forgot about that shit. But like some people who complain about that are just people like generally making that complaint. They're not feminists or anything. They're just like, oh, well, this is a woman, and it doesn't seem right that she's, it's just like the whole standard. You don't have to be a feminist to put this standard on female characters. Oh wait, let me read these couple of super chats I just got because I don't have to like refresh the page. I want to read what's here. Dean Boy, $5 super chat. I need Jay Long to understand that this reviewer is mad that mostly men saw it first and made it 93% fresh, and woke woman reviews see the farce. I could have swore that was what her gripe was. I mean, it was fucking confusing. I didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. I ain't Zilla, I'll fuck you up. $5 super chat. YouTube said secure the bag by any means necessary. All right, thank you guys. Oh shit. Okay, Mike Testa, $1.99 super chat. You mean that Wonder Woman became a rapist? Yeah, basically. Justin Foster, $10 super chat for a context of Star Trek and Commander Commander. Oh yeah, I read that one. Read this one. Roy Mugari, I think. Oh god, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. $5 super chat. Does she think that an immortal being hung up on their lost love for a few decades is bad? Wait till she finds out about Dracula. True. Dante Inferno, $5 super chat. In my opinion, Wonder Woman 1988 was a distraction. Okay, I read that one. I read that one. Or at least I read it, but I didn't read it because, well, you know why. Neptune, a $5 super chat. Everything is sexist and everything is racist, and you have to point it out unless it's about Chinese. I think that means Chinese slavery is totally different. Mario versus Pitt, 99-cent super chat, and it's a smiley face. Hey. Ray, $5 super chat. It's a little puppy. Hello. Phantom of the Night, $4.99 super chat. In the original comics, Cheetah was basically okay. I read that one. Phantom of the Night, $4.99 super chat. Oh yeah, didn't Diana let Dr. Poison go in the original film? At least that's consistent with Diana's character, I guess. Yeah, that's right, she did. Inner Atana? Atana? God damn it. Oh, God, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing this shit. $4.99 super chat. Finally caught it live, and I'm at work. Hi, hun. What the hell is that red thing dressed like Wonder Woman on screen? Thank you. Insult to the human race, $5 super chat. I'm not here to give you any money, but here's some money. Now have a lovely weekend, ma'am. Thank you. Read that one. Fred Mataraki, $5 super chat. You need to replace that hamster on a wheel that's running your internet. I do. Oh god. Hale Mendoza, $2 super chat. What's worse, Suicide Squad or Birds of Prey? Suicide Squad. I mean, fuck. I meant to say Birds of Prey. God damn it. My mind was like, nah, you better say Suicide Squad. But no, Birds of Prey, because at least Suicide Squad didn't try to push some fucking agenda with their villain characters. There's a difference between, okay, we empathize with them because of shit they probably had to go through. And, we empathize with the person they were before they became who they are. There's a difference between that and saying, oh, well, they're feminist icons. Or like, saying that, Deadshot is an icon for every black man. And it's just, no, don't do that. They're fucking villains. Don't fucking do that. At least, Suicide Squad just was what it was. I can watch that shit with no problem. Birds of Prey, that movie gives me a fucking headache. I ain't Zilla, I'll fuck you up. $10 super chat. Hey, you're blurry. Okay, I read that one. Okay, Phantom of the Night, $4.99 super chat. What I find hilarious is the stuff she's complaining Diana doesn't do in this movie. She actually did do in the original. Yeah, and Patty Jenkins had more writing. Fuck it. She had writing control this time. She fucking wrote the screenplay. So I don't. Yeah, if you got a gripe, you got a gripe with her. But she tries so hard not to blame her, even though she had more power over the film than she ever did with the first one. Whatever. Read that one. Read that one. Dr. Riddler, $5 super chat. I identify as correct, and this movie sucks. Boom. Narrative defeated. As a newly minted minority, I declare that men's opinions are valid. Evil Hero Diamond Cat, $2 super chat. He's saying that men don't understand feminism. I mean, yeah, I guess they don't understand it from a superficial point of view. Yeah, from the the virtue signaling point of view, they definitely don't understand that. But then again, no one does. So, Bohemian Bottle Cap, $5 super chat. I bet this person's definition of diverse and inclusive has nothing to do with diversity of thoughts. Oh no! Oh hell no! Nah, of course not. Insult to the human race, $5 super chat. Isn't this bigotry of a sort, demanding for more women or minorities to be movie reviewers? I wouldn't call it bigotry. I would call it really dumb, because, like, how are you going to accomplish that? You can't make people want to be more. You can't make people. Is it some kind of. Is the goal to, like, make people want to be movie reviewers? Because if they don't want to be one, they don't want to bump up your numbers just because, oh, we don't have enough Negroes. Also, like, wait, yeah, it is. Because it's basically tokenization. We just need to bump up the numbers. We need to bump up those numbers. And, like, I love how, like, yeah, she's like, I'm against tokenization of characters and of director Patty Jenkins, but I am for tokenizing, female women of color, like women of color reviewers and shit. I am for that, tokenizing them. Like I said, like, the reviews all over the fucking place. Hokey Bear, $4.99 super chat. Am I the only person who thinks Brie was on coke when she gave that speech? She acting like it. Probably. That shit's all over Hollywood. Read that one. Read that one. Read that one. Read that one. Derpster, $2 super chat. It should have been like the Christian Bale Batman. Nah. Not everything, like, because not everything can be like that. Or should be like that. I don't mind a little tongue-in-cheek shit, especially with DC. They need a little bit of that. But, like, oh yeah, woof. Wonder Woman 1984. God, it sucks. Can't get over how much it sucks. Sly Goose 77, $2 super chat. Just live action the animated movies. People like them. Good point. Good point. Oh yeah, and Samuel Sheldon. Yeah, I read these. Yeah, I read that one too. Okay, so that's all the super chats. Folks in Nizite. So yeah, I'm gonna pack it in for the night, guys. Thank you for tuning in to this madness. I'm really sorry I had to put you through that, but hey, I am a connoisseur of cringe. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna bid you adieu. Thank you for the super chats, well wishes, comments, and just for generally tuning in. I'm gonna see you guys later, probably tomorrow. Well, not probably. No, not probably. Definitely tomorrow for a Night of Cringe 31, and this time we're gonna be talking about Ava stories. Excuse me. It's I said this at the beginning of the stream, but it's basically the Holocaust as seen through an Instagrammer, a child Instagrammer. And, like, if you think that sounds horribly disrespectful, that's because it is. And it doesn't really make much sense either, because I haven't seen the whole thing. But yeah, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't make much sense. It's kind of stupid. From what I saw, it does. I can't wait to check it out with you guys. And yeah, it's gonna be it for the night. Thank you for tuning in once again, and I will see you tomorrow, probably around the same time, or maybe 8:30, the way the time that I usually stick to, for some more cringe. Goodbye.